I believe there's a hero in all of us. Gives us strength, makes us noble. Even though sometimes we have to give up the thing we want the most.
Barker!
Where you been? Looking for you all morning.
You're late.
Always late!
You're fired.
Look at you, Peter. Your grades have been declining. You always appear exhausted.
I know, I'm trying.
So where you been, pal? You don't return my calls.
I've been kind of busy.
Taking pictures of your friend. Spider-Man killed my father.
No matter what I do,
Do you love me or not?
no matter how hard I try,
I want Spider-Man dead.
it's the ones I love who will always be the ones who pay.
I can't keep thinking about you. I'm getting married.
I want a life of my own. I'm Spider-Man. No more.
You look different.
I let things get in the way before. There was something I thought I had to do. I don't have to.
I like seeing you tonight, Peter.
Now on to the main event.
Octavius is gonna put Oscorp on the map in a way my father never even dreamed of.
Crazy scientist turns himself into some kind of a monster. 4 mechanical arms welded right onto his body.
You take Spider-Man's pictures. Where is he?
It's taking me off your loyalty to Spider-Man and not your best friend.
Bring Spider-Man to me.
How do I find him?
Peter Parker.
Find Spider-Man, or I'll peel the flesh off her bones.
There are bigger things happening here than me and you.
Let's see who's behind the mask.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the 20th anniversary celebration / watch along of one of the most celebrated and most influential comic book movies of all time. It is simply known as Spider-Man 2, starring Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, Alfred Molina, J.K. Simmons, James Franco, and a host of other great actors and actresses. And once again, it's directed by Sam Raimi. So I am your host, Ryan of And Quote Channel. I am not alone in this journey back to the year of 2004, celebrating Spider-Man 2. Please welcome our good friend Matt Kearns to the stage. Hello, Matt. How are you?
I am doing very, very well. It's funny watching that trailer and remembering a time when movie trailers basically just showed you the entirety of the movie in like 3 minutes. But no, this is great. Yeah, I grew up with this movie. This was I missed it in theaters, but this was always a cable movie whenever it was on. I was excited. I had the Game Boy Advance game growing up and the Burger King toys. So this was
Wow.
It's a big deal. It's scary to think it's 20 years ago, though.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that time flies when you're having fun. Also, joining us is someone who also suited up for this event is the one and only Dion of All Star Fandom, who has a legal pad full of notes for another show concerning another fandom that will be back next Friday, 7 p.m. EST. But he is here to discuss one of his favorite characters, which in this case just happens to be a web-crawling menace to society, known as Spider-Man. So, Dion of All Star Fandom, how are you, sir?
Man, Brian, doing good, man. Was on last week for Batman. Glad to be back for this one, too. Spider-Man 2 is probably one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. That train scene is amazing. But yeah, 2004, good grief. I'm 2 years away from graduating high school. That's how long ago that was. But anyway, this movie holds up. It helped bring that universe together, or that superhero movie genre to a certain height. So yeah, looking forward to going back, looking at it for, oh man, I watched it maybe last year. Last year was the last time I watched it. So knowing that it's 20 years now, oh boy, let's jump into it, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And here what we do at Movie Watch Along, we are going to be watching the movie known as Spider-Man 2 for this particular episode of Movie Watch Along. Now, you're more than welcome to watch the movie along with us from the comfort of your own home with access to physical media or streaming service. We can't show the movie here on our screens here in the studio because We want to respect the studios. We want to respect the actors, the actresses, the writers and producers and directors who help make these movies what they are. But you are welcome to watch the movie along with us. It's currently streaming on Disney Plus and a host of other streaming services. Hashtag not a sponsor. But we're going to start our movie at the 2-second mark. But before you hit the play button and we begin our feature presentation of Spider-Man 2, I'm going to give you a chance to get to know our panelists just a little bit better. They already hinted at it, but if they could elaborate, we're going to give them a chance to do so. So, Matt, what was it like for you seeing this film way back when? Even though you may have missed it in the theater, but what was it like seeing it for the first time on cable television?
Well, I think obviously you have to go back to the first movie, which is 2002. I remember that was one of the early DVDs we got. And I wasn't laughing at Dion when he said, "Oh, I was about to graduate."
Well, I saw it. I saw it.
7. I was 7. That's why I was laughing. It's just the age difference. When
Huge
I
age
first
difference,
watched Spider-Man, I did not finish the movie because when Green Goblin breaks into Aunt May's house, I ran out of the room and refused to finish watching the movie. But then obviously, I went back and I loved it, and so really excited for the movie. And I think it must have been Sci-Fi or TNT was where I first saw it, and it was great. And you go back to it. I'm more a fan of the first movie, but I still think this is a really solid entry. I think there are a lot of interesting things that they did. I find it so funny that in the behind the scenes of the first movie, Sam Raimi is like, "Yeah, we're talking about a sequel and who the villain would be. It's probably not going to be Doc Ock." And I'm like, that's funny. I've seen on TV a handful of times Spider-Man 2.1, which is inferior to the theatrical, but there's one moment that I will talk about when we get to it that I wish wasn't the theatrical. But overall, I really love this movie. I grew up in the Tobey Maguire era, so even though I'm more a fan of Andrew Garfield's portrayal, there's always going to be a nostalgic attachment I have to this stuff, and particularly Spider-Man 2, because like I said, I was 7, so I really got swept up in the marketing, the video games. I mean, Spider-Man 2 on PS2 is still one of the best video games of all time. I still run around throwing guys into the water and seeing how far you can jump and kill yourself off the Empire State Building. It's good times, man. So yeah, this is definitely going to be fun.
Oh, it certainly is going to be fun. What about you, Dion? What was it like for you seeing this movie 20 years ago, if you saw it in the theater or if you saw it on cable television?
Saw it in the theater. Blew my mind because you got to remember, this around the time we went through the 90s, we had a great Batman start in 89, and then everything else happened in the mid 90s, right? Forever, Steel, the Phantom, stuff like that happened.
The Phantom.
Yes.
Phantom rocks.
We got a true, really good superhero movie. Then we talked earlier about Blade. I would have kicked that door in because most people didn't even know that was a comic book adaptation, right?
Yeah.
But you saw it make money. We saw it build from that. And here comes Spider-Man, a true, be all end all superhero. Everybody knows the logo. Everybody knows the character, right? And you go from there and you make two good one. The first one, you surprise everybody. I feel like it. I was surprised. Then you top it with the sequel. When I went to the theater to seeing this one, this is my favorite of the three. Obviously, it's not hard to say 2 and 1 and then 3, but I just remember seeing this movie for the first time, and I was like, they did it. They captured Spider-Man how I always thought that Spider-Man should be. And people thought about Tobey Maguire being a weird sort of casting at the beginning, but he pulls off Peter Parker perfectly. And then he still has enough of those clips while he's fighting and battling to be like, okay, that's still Spider-Man, right? And I love this movie. Brian, we talked about it before. It's in my top 5 of all time superhero movies, and that train scene alone, I can watch that on repeat for hours, I think.
Wow, that's strong words from a strong man. Captain Insano shows no mercy. Anyway, that's a line from another property and a different character that has nothing to do with this one. But I will say this.
They didn't have to laugh at him like that either.
Okay. I know, right? I know, it's pretty bad. But anyway, that trailer we played at the top of the hour for you guys, for everyone who's watching or listening to this, that was the trailer that went around promoting this movie very heavily. And I remember seeing it on a DVD of, I think it was the Johnny Depp film known as Secret Window. And when I saw that trailer, I'm thinking to myself, okay, this film is going to be massive. It's going to be extremely good. If it's anything like the first one, we know we're in for a heck of a ride, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go into the theaters. Yes, I was there, folks. I was there. Go into the theater. Crowd full of people. People are losing their minds. We're laughing. We're cheering. We're hollering during certain sequences, which we'll talk more about as we get into the film. Don't get me wrong. But overall, this film just added even more layers to these characters. It pushed the story forward, and the way it ends, man, I'm thinking to myself, dude, they pulled something right out of the 94 animated series for me. I was like, oh, like my 94 animated series heart was on fire at that point, which, you know, certain character says a certain lines is said to another character. And I'm thinking, ooh, this has got 94 vibes, brother. Yeah. So it's Sam Raimi and the cast and the crew. They knew what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. So those are my thoughts on that. It's one of my favorite comic book movies. It's one of the better comic book films. And by the way, before we get started, some people have chimed in here. So once again, we're going to start the movie at the 2-second mark. But before we get to that, I want to say hello to Yasi. Says, Ryan dressed up for the event, smiling emoji. Yes, I did. Dion, too. Yes, he did. He dressed up. Matt's just
I don't have a Spider-Man shirt.
The Tangled Award goes to Ryan. Oh, thank you, Yasi. I appreciate you. You're awesome, by the way. DM Ray says, this is arguably the best superhero movie still to this day.
It holds up.
That's a bold statement, man. Bold statement. Brian,
that was Roger Ebert said the same thing at the time. He thought it was the best superhero movie of the time.
Brian Nussbaum says Spider-Man 2 was the first comic movie I've ever seen in the theater back in the day. Wow. Spider-Man 2 has the greatest one line ever. Pizza time. Well, we haven't gotten there yet, Brian, so save that for when we get there. But anyway, we are going to start our feature presentation once again at the 2-second mark. So if you want to queue up your copy of physical media streaming service, go ahead and do so. We're going to start our feature presentation and celebrate 20th anniversary of Spider-Man 2 in 3, 2, 1, hit play. Here we go. And you get the Columbia Pictures logo coming up. And you also hear the ominous score by the one and only Danny Elfman. Who'd have thunk that this guy can compose the score for one of the greatest comic book movies of all time in '89's Batman, and then do it all over again years and years later for Spider-Man.
Sadly, this was the movie that kind of ruined him and Sam Raimi's relationship for a number of years. They just had a very difficult time working on this, so that's why they kind of parted ways until Oz the Great and Powerful.
Oh wow!
Which is why Sam Raimi, which is why Danny Elfman didn't come back for Spider-Man 3.
Oh wow! I didn't know they had a falling out.
Yeah,
I'm
it
sorry.
had something to do with there was a
contract
or theme or something that Sam Raimi really wanted to capture for his scene, and he was like, "No, do it like this." And Danny was like giving his rendition. She's like, "No, I want this." And Daniel was like, "Then just use the one from the movie." You know, one of the best opening credit sequence though.
Very
recapping the first movie with
great graphics.
Who's the artist? Alex Ross.
He's the man.
Artist.
Alex Ross is the man.
Really, it's back there. And it's a good way that if you were someone who maybe didn't see the first movie or maybe you forgot, it really just kind of gives you the whole first movie, so you're caught up.
Yeah, it's a good recap. A very creative visual. Alex Ross. So Alex Ross, this is from his, or is it just resemblance of? Because it looks very on point.
Looks good too.
Yeah. Well, because and it's also you could have done this with, which I think Spider-Man 3 does. I think they do their opening with clips from the previous movies. Which you could have, but this is just it's a comic book movie, so it just sort of
reminds you
push that with comic book art,
Yeah. By the way, Yasi says, after this conversation with Dion, I'm so excited for this. Well, you should be. Because we do our best to hype
the wooden dummy
up. But thank you for joining us, Yasi, and everyone else who's here in the chat or watching us live or on the replay. We thank you for being here. This is going to be a lot of fun. Diving into the opening credits, and you got your boy Alex Ross doing it. And it's a good recap of the first movie. And not only that, they don't do this necessarily like this, but at the same time, I like it how certain movies just give you the story, the main part of it in 2.5 minutes in the opening credit sequence, and then they go right into where they are now. Perfect example, 2008's The Incredible Hulk. They did the same thing.
Yeah. Well, Bill Pope, the cinematographer of this, who did not work on the first movie, collaborated with Sam Raimi before this, but he was the guy who made Sam Raimi shoot this movie in CinemaScope, which is why the swinging sequences and everything look a lot more vibrant and intense because it's bigger. Whereas the first movie was in the 1:8:15, I want to say, the Academy aspect ratio.
185.
Still looks good, but this one just looks, the train sequence, as Dion alluded to, is just. Yeah.
By the way, did you know the screen story was written by Alfred Goff and Miles Miller of Smallville? I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And their version was a little different. They had Doc Ock as the same age as Peter and Mary Jane, and there was a love triangle between the three of them and their story.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Stop. This, by the way, this is a character actor. He's been in a number of things over the years.
Yeah, I was watching an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm last night, and he's getting a fight with Larry David in Elevator.
He's in that. He's in a bunch of stuff. I can't remember what was. I saw something the other.
He's in the last Airbender movie. He's the Fire Lord, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. By the way, I find it weird that they call themselves Joe's Pizza 29 minutes guarantee. Why not just 30? I don't get that.
Because every other pizza place, it's always 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And there's just 29.
So he's trying to compete with that by 1 minute, by the way.
Dr. Pepper, the old school early 2000s Dr. Pepper, just all over this movie.
I see it.
This is the reason. This is like the main reason like Peter Parker works for me, and I liked him. He's trying to balance the two, and he can never do it. Like, and life kicks his ass so much.
Yep.
I just feel for him.
Doesn't do well.
To live his life more as Peter Parker, he feels like people suffer because he's not Spider-Man, but when he's Spider-Man, his life suffers. And that goes all the way back to the original comics. That was always the dichotomy of Spider-Man was always, which do I do? Do I be myself or do I be Spider-Man?
And I think Stan Lee even said that he wanted like a lot of his characters to essentially have be common
very
people.
relatable.
Oh, Donnell Rollins. Here he goes.
Yeah, but they wanted his characters to be relatable. He stole that guy's pizzas.
Relatable. I've seen him do stand up before. He's really hilarious.
Oh, he is? I never heard of him before.
He was a member on the Chappelle show.
Yeah.
Oh.
I did not know that.
The amount of YouTube edits I've seen to where Spider-Man just lets cakes get hit by the truck.
Oh, man.
He's like, see it, chump.
Yeah, well, look at this guy on the balcony. He's going to take all the pizza. Hey, kids, no playing in the streets.
How good is that suit,
Spider-Man. That's a good-looking suit, man.
Spider-Man. Yeah, it's similar to the first movie, but they made minor alterations.
Yeah, just like they did in Batman Returns. They made adjustments to Keaton's suit.
I still think the first Keaton suit is better, though.
Okay.
I love the second one, man. I think the glossy nature of it.
Different, you know what?
Well, the glossy nature of Spidey's suit.
The Batman suit. It looked more refined.
By the way,
I just like the battered look of the first one more.
You know who that's? Do you know who that secretary is over there at that desk?
Zoe Deschanel's sister.
Emily Deschanel. It's Bones. Bones. Yeah. It's Bones before she was known as Bones. How about that?
What is it? There's a former Schmoes No member is going to pop up later in the movie.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
We're just in the awkwardness, man.
She's like, how did it even get in here?
Yeah.
It just kept going.
Pizza time. There's your favorite line, Brian Nussbaum. Pizza time just happened.
There was when I saw Spider-Man No Way Home, when Tobey Maguire walks in, somebody in my theater screamed out pizza time.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really? Wait, Tobey Maguire messed up his line?
No, I'm saying in my screening, someone in the audience went pizza time.
Yeah. The one character I know is very good at saying that. And by the way, I don't know if he said it in the first two movies that I remember of, but Michelangelo would be very good at saying pizza time, because TMNT, Dion,
Of course.
Good stuff. Go home, Peter. Please, I need this job.
See.
Give me another chance.
And
see?
I like so right here he gets the sort of label ripped off. I like the attention to detail that even Spider-Man 3, the remnants are still on the helmet.
Yep.
You're fired.
J.K. Simmons is perfectly cast as this character, by the way.
Yeah, he's great in this one with all the wedding stuff,
Oh, look at this one. Dave Mattingly's here. He says, "Hello, Peter." Well, that's a line from another movie. But thanks for being here, Dave. Appreciate you, man. It's from what? What'd you say?
Just calling.
I was like,
movie effect I'm very proud of.
Oh, by the way, your wife says the checkbook is gone. Thanks for the good news. I really need the money. Aw, Miss Brandt. Yes, give me a violin. 5 minutes to deadline, Jonah. Run a picture of rancid chicken. I'm a little nauseous. Yeah.
Nauseous?
Dude, J.K. Simmons just nails it. Stinks. Go ahead, run it. Page one.
Elizabeth Banks, actually, she was friends with Tobey Maguire for the first movie, and if I'm not mistaken, she auditioned for Mary Jane, but they thought she.
Oh, Elizabeth Banks
old.
did?
Yeah.
No kidding.
We're like, oh, you're too old. It's like, isn't everybody like 25-year-old high school students in the first movie?
By the way, Elizabeth Banks is good in these movies and the limited screen time
Betty Brant, the original first love of Spider-Man in the comics.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing about Elizabeth Banks, and it works for these movies in the context that they're having it in, but now that I know that she's such a blonde, it's like, why didn't they just keep her hair blonde? I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
I don't get it.
Things. It's kind of like the first movie I ever saw. Kristen Bell in was the Star Wars fan film.
Yeah, she was in Fanboys.
She wears a brunette wig, and then it like blew my mind when I found she's a blonde, and I'm like, I'm like,
so
why?
We kind of missed this for the third one. I felt like this was a perfect
setup for the lizard.
Kurt Connors.
Perfect setup for the lizard, man, that we never got.
They really do. They do a good job of having him there.
Crazy.
Because it's nice that it's not like, oh, well, he's in this movie, he's going to become the lizard in this
Exactly.
movie. You know?
Yeah, and then he's not. They ruined it. They never used the lizard. But we did get the lizard in another iteration with Andrew Garfield, so at least we got it there.
Yeah.
And Rhys Evans did a decent job with what he was given, so, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly don't mind that first one. That first movie.
That's my favorite Spider-Man movie.
I really enjoy it.
I don't mind. I don't mind Amazing Spider-Man. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, because I like the lizards in it. I'm like, finally, we get a 94 reference. We get the lizard because the lizard was the first villain that he fought in the 94
that
animated
fight
series.
in the school is really awesome in that movie.
Yeah.
Well, there's the old Sam Raimi car. It's back again.
Oh, that's a nice car.
Guess Aunt May got it fixed from.
I guess. I don't know. Surprise! What's all this? We'll say something. Well, what's the occasion? It's your birthday. When your mother remember, whether you want to remember it or not, he lives in another reality, don't you, Pete? So, how do we feel about MJ's hair being switched from redhead to like dirty blonde in this one? How do we feel about it?
Talking about the Elizabeth Banks thing, like I thought she was a redhead my whole life, and then I learned she's blonde. It makes sense. It probably was just one of those things to where it was a lot easier for Kirsten Dunst, who I assume was probably doing other movies after this, and so she really needed to be able to go back to her regular hair faster. So
it wasn't huge for me. Like if the first movie gave us, very comic book accurate hair, I guess we're talking about, but this was fine. I mean,
it's not like they ever be blonde like that.
It's a pretty blonde. Yeah.
It's not
change it.
Look, I have a mother and two sisters. They sometimes they have their hair kind of dark and then they want to be lighter. It's something they do. So Mary Jane's just going through a phase.
Yeah, everybody's going through. By the way, what's not a phase is the fact that you're watching this incredible presentation of Spider-Man 2's 20th anniversary watch-along here on Anti-Quote Channel. We are currently at 11 minutes and 42 seconds into this movie, so queue up your copy on physical media or streaming service. Watch the movie here with us. Share your thoughts about Spider-Man, this movie or Spider-Man 2 or anything Spider-Man related.
In Spider-Man 2.1, there is a exchange of dialogue between Harry and Peter Vetter, which they left in, which is he talks about wanting to get Spider-Man and says, I want to get this guy just like you want to get the guy who killed Uncle Ben. And I'm like, that's a really good line. Why did they not leave that in? Because obviously that is something Peter dealt with in the first movie, and it's a connected piece between them that I really wish. Well, yeah, and there's also that led into that extended scenes where there's a picture of Norman and Peter from the graduation, like stuff like that I like. And then there's other stuff in 2.1 that I think was necessary to delete.
Well, yes. Well, share your thoughts about Spider-Man and anything Spider-Man related in the comments below. Do not forget to like and share this with everyone you know. And if you're joining us live or on a replay, we thank you so much for being with us. Yeah. There are two different versions of this film. There's a theatrical cut and an extended director's cut. So we're watching the theatrical cut for argument's sake. And that's the one that's featured on Disney Plus and some other streaming services around the globe. So watch along with us.
I think the only way Is 2.1 even on Blu-ray, or can you like
It
get it
is.
on like this?
No, it
special
is.
DVD?
It is.
Okay.
It's on Blu-ray. It is. I have it on Blu-ray. I have it.
Yeah, see, I only have the Spider-Man.
I know what
have
I'm
the
saying.
old 2-disc collector's editions of Spider-Man 1 and 2 on DVD.
No, I have.
Yeah.
Well, no, I had those, and then I traded them in for Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So I have Spider-Man 1 on Blu-ray, and I have Spider-Man 2 on Blu-ray, which includes both the theatrical and the extended cut of the movie.
Nice. FX is always
covered.
showing the Spider-Man 2.1.
Hmm.
That's where I've seen it.
How do you say this one? Let me see. Interesting. Anyway, let's see.
Man, Aunt
Yeah,
May
Aunt
got younger
May's
and younger
going-
as times.
Yeah, she just Benjamin Buttoned it through this series.
First it was Rosemary Harris, then it was Sally Field, and then it was apparently it was I don't remember her name from My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, Mona Lisa Vita. Marissa Tomei.
No.
Yeah.
The character name from My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah, Mona Lisa Vita.
Oh, Mona Lisa Vita. Yeah. It goes
Are you
from
a
that.
mechanic? No, I'm an out-of-work hairdresser.
Yeah, and it goes to Marissa Tomei, and I'm like, Aunt May's got a Benjamin Button thing going on. Yeah,
Yeah, she does.
she's like
Believe
180
me,
in this movie, and then
I
she's like
am
65 in the
all
other
for
one, and then
it.
she's like 35 in the other one. And I'm like, how does Aunt May keep getting younger with Marissa? By the way, I'm sorry. I like Marissa Tomei a lot, but I just couldn't buy her as Aunt May. I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
Didn't buy it. Not for 1 second.
I think she did. I'm not really a fan of those movies. I think she did fine, but I think there is that like the this is for lack of better phrasing, the elderness of Aunt May and Uncle Ben needs to sort of be a part of their characters, the age, their sort of weariness.
These movies are more comic book accurate.
That's why I thought Sally Field is my favorite. I thought she was so good. Like that scene in Amazing Spider-Man 2 when she's talking about the fact that like you're my boy, like your parents left, you're mine. I don't care what they say, you're mine. Like stuff like that, you know.
I'll even go as far as saying like the Spider-Man video games recently. Well, at least the first one. Great portrayal of Aunt May. She wasn't as old, but she wasn't as young, so she hit that aunt like right in the middle where you need
she
to be.
She was more Sally Fieldish age, I think, because that was
a little bit. Yeah,
I really like Cliff Roberts and Rosemary Harris, but they started to push that like, is that his aunt and uncle or his grandparents? Like, what was the age difference between Peter's dad and Uncle Ben?
They were just trying to be comic book accurate.
My Uncle Tom is 17 years older than my Uncle Jonathan. It happened back in the day, you know,
Really?
like it did. Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Hey,
did you say you have an uncle named Uncle Tom?
Yes.
Because I'm thinking of Uncle Tom's Cabin, which is a famous book. Which is a famous book, by the way. I'm not trying to say this is a bad thing for your uncle, Matt, but I'm just
technically his name is Thomas, but everyone calls him Tom.
Okay, well, when you say Uncle Tom, I'm thinking about the book.
I know Uncle Tom's Cabin.
So, does anyone remember the book Uncle Tom's Cabin?
There's a line from Chasing Amy that talks about Uncle Tom.
Really? Well then, well then you should mention it next time. I don't know.
We'll talk about it later.
I don't know what the line is. I like seeing it tonight, Peter. Yeah, I mean, she's so infatuated with him, and he wants to tell her everything. You can tell, like it's right there.
I will be, I guess, a lone detractor. This is one of the things I'm not super big on. Is in the last movie, Peter, he made the choice. Now, this scene I think is fine. He made the choice that he knew that being with her would make her a target for his enemies, and it's a very Spider-Man choice. And this scene I think is fine. What I don't like is later on when he's reading the poetry, doing all that. I'm like, dude, you are the one who rejected her. So why are you doing this when you know you're just going to reject her again? That's my one kind of gripe about this movie.
It's okay. It's fine. You can talk more about it when we get to that scene.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten there yet, folks.
And I like the sort of callback to the first movie when they really had that first conversation in the same place. Yep. I think that's really nice too.
Yep. I'm going to see your play tomorrow. Really? You're going to be there? Don't disappoint me. I won't. Yeah. See, this is and by the way, someone brought this up in another video, by the way.
Well, best character in the whole trilogy. It's about to appear.
No, it's not that. No, what I'm saying is someone brought up a very good point in an analysis of this movie compared to other comic movies out there. So, for example, they say that Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2 is so relatable because superheroes in their, depending on who you ask, are not really rich people. They all struggle like everyone else. So it's like when someone says, how does, like, I mean, Green Arrow, Clark Kent, all these other people, like, you know, certain other heroes, it's like, how can you afford these loft apartments when you're like a lawyer who barely makes any, like Daredevil, like, I mean, you know, Daredevil, it's more realistic, but it's like, they don't show the struggle of a lot of superhero characters like they do in other movies or TV series. So, Someone says, "How are you paying
He's
for
relatable,
this?"
man.
But Spider-Man's relatable because he's living in a dingy apartment in a dingy street. Like, it's rough, man.
No, yeah, they definitely they sell it well. Yeah, because that's just a regular. It's like, you see a movie, and it's just like, oh, this family of 5 is struggling, but watch as they live in this 3-story house.
Yeah.
How did that work?
I mean, I don't know. They made it work. They made it work on the
I
Fox.
can't even pay for rent by myself in the area I live in, New York. So how exactly are they doing that?
I mean, they made it work somehow. Now, I haven't seen the show, so I can't comment or speculate on this. But they did make it work in the house they were living in for what was it? The TV series with Jack Shepard and Nev Campbell, Party of 5. They made it work there. Rent. By the way, this is another good character actor. He's been in dozens of things.
Yeah, he's in October Sky. It's one of the ones I know him from. He's great
Mr. Dickovich.
The one, you know what? The one thing I was hoping in No Way Home was I was hoping he would pop up and Peter Parker would give him rent.
That would have been funny.
That would have been hilarious for like a post-credit scene. It's just like, here's your rent.
Okay, I usually ask this question too. Web shooters or coming out of the wrist? What are we taking?
So here's the thing. The web shooters in the comics, when you really think about it, they're only there when you want to have an issue, when you want to be like, oh, I've run out of fluid. But ultimately, most of the time, the web shooters act like organic web. So it's like, if you want to have them, like Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think is a great example of using the web shooters. I personally like the web shooters more because you can have that, like, how do I fight Electro with this? But,
My opinion is from the cartoons, something would always happen with the web shooters, and it'd like to be continued on next week's episode. I hate him falling. I was like, I hate this. So as soon as I saw it come out of wrist, I was like, okay, I'm on board. Just make it out of his wrist from here on out.
The one funny thing is in this trilogy, because they went with the organic web shooters, is that this symbiote suit, that's one of the things in the comics that it gave him organic webs. That was one of the like, wow, I have more power here. Whereas here it doesn't matter, which the man who came up with the idea for the organic web shooters was actually James Cameron in his draft of a Spider-Man movie.
I like the idea. I love it.
And it's just one of those things that just stuck after he wrote his draft. That just stayed.
Fun fact, the actress who plays Dr. Otto Octavius's wife, Rosie, Donna Murphy, is an accomplished Broadway actress.
She's also Captain Jean-Luc Picard's love interest in Star Trek Insurrection.
That's right.
She is.
I totally forgot about that, and I love TNG. So
yeah, I love that movie. So every time I watch this, I'm just thinking of
hey, Donna Murphy's hitting on Picard. Look at that, and then she hits on Octavius. It works. By the way, the relationship between Alfred Molina and Donna Murphy is very good here. Very played out.
It feels like a very long lived-in relationship.
Very
much like Cliff Roberts and Rosemary Harrison, the first movie. You feel it's long and very sweet.
This was a very different thing for Alfred Molina to portray this kind of character in a movie like this. This was so out of left field for him, but he said, look, I liked where the script was going. I liked where the character was going to go. I wanted to be a part of this. And I think he like really pitched himself to be in this, didn't he? Or did Sam Raimi like specifically wanted him?
I don't know. But I'm glad they went with him. He's a great choice.
I mean, look how much this guy has done. He goes from playing Satipo and getting killed in the first 10 minutes of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
To being the drug dealer who's lighting off fireworks and boogie nights.
Yeah.
To scientist who makes a really interesting bad joke that we'll get to.
Yeah, and then he ends up in this movie so many years later. I mean, look how much this guy's done. Heck, this guy was one of the lead detectives on Law and Order Los Angeles when they rebooted it halfway through its season.
See, and this is what makes Spider-Man so appealing too. Like, even he knows the real villain, or there's some relationship between he and the villain.
Yeah,
well, at least in the first movie and this one too, right?
Yeah, they established a rapport.
So he knows. Like, that's tough, man.
There's a personal
very personal
thing behind it.
Yeah,
very personal.
That's why I like. Green Goblin is probably my favorite Spider-Man movie villain because I really like that. Like, there's a surrogate father-son relationship. So, like, when it's revealed that Norman is Green Goblin, that is a hard thing for Peter to deal with.
Exactly.
But, like, you tried to kill Aunt May. You're one of my father figures, and you've tried to kill all these people I love. Like, it's really well done. And here they even have the same thing. Like Otto is, you know, like one of Peter's idols. He becomes like a mentor to him. It'd be like if George Lucas tried to kill my family, I'd be like, George, why?
What? And then when he gets killed at the end, and then he says, "Don't tell Harry." I'm like, dude, that's so sad.
It hits.
So sad.
He gets to be Norman for those last fleeting moments.
Yeah, don't tell Harry.
Really so good, man.
Peter, don't tell Harry.
We're gonna be coming up to my favorite.
We're getting
Bruce
there.
Campbell cameo and the whole
trilogy. Where's my money? I want my rent.
It's my favorite one. Him as the theater usher. It's the best.
And he's himself too. He doesn't have like a mustache or like a fancy outfit on. Like
I am fresh.
This may be the reason I like this movie again too. I'm going through that because I'm comparing all Spider-Man films right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like the Tom Holland one, he starts off like super like unfair, right? With the Tony Stark and influence and all that stuff, right? So
he's Iron Man Jr.
Now he's scaled back wherever they go now. It's just like I never felt sorry for that Spider-Man. You know, I never had a feeling of, I feel like he bought a dozen and he can only afford 3. Like that's
you know what they say, Dion, the struggle is real.
Disney Uncle Ben that like you don't have that like needed like guilt that he carries with him.
Yeah, like that's,
you know, like missing. Andrew Garfield even had that. Like you had that he's carrying around this guilt and all this stuff. Like, and even I think in that movie, I think that conversation with Captain Stacy is great when he's like,
"Here's this line."
Oh,
how'd you do that? Well, you know, I work out. Plenty of rest. You know, eat your green vegetables.
That's what my mom's always saying.
I just never actually believed her.
Oh man, and the early 2000s fashion, like those backwards hats.
Come on, man.
The only thing missing is the sun visors, sideways and upside down. Then it really
visors.
Through 2004 movie.
Early 2000s fashion will never be defeated, man.
No,
man,
Dion knows this. Dion knows this.
Jerseys.
We have jerseys, retro jerseys.
We had hats. We were wearing hats backwards, folks. Like we knew what we were doing.
Go Spidey, go!
It's a web. Like like people were just in awe of the fact that there's a wall crawling menace in their city.
Wouldn't you be, right?
Yeah, go Spidey, go!
Wait
a minute. Was that actress Kerry Washington?
It wasn't Kerry Washington.
Okay.
I can't remember her name, but it wasn't Kerry Washington.
She looked familiar though.
But
I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
I'd be around New York right now looking for a red and blue spider if I was there. just to
You're like, hey,
it's a web. Man. Come on.
It's a web, guys.
I do want to ask, would you guys at the time, I'm more asking for, would you have liked to have seen them do with these movies what they've done with the Marvel stuff? So, like, bring in Ben Affleck, Daredevil, and the X-Men. Would you have liked to have seen that at the time, or are you happy that they all remain separate?
That's a really good what-if question.
Because it could have been cool to see, like, Ben Affleck pop up at the end of this movie or something like that. Could have been cool.
You could have.
At the time, they weren't really thinking that.
Which is wild to think, right? Because
no, they weren't. Because Hugh Jackman was supposed to be in the first Spider-Man, but they couldn't get a hold of the costume.
But it's funny how Spider-Man shows up in a deleted scene from X-Men 2000, and the whole cast and crew is like, "Wait a minute, Spider-Man's in an X-Men movie? What's going on?" Did anyone see that scene? Did anyone see that?
Yeah, the blooper. I love how
hilarious.
Bruce Campbell, as well as like Bruce Willis. Bruce Campbell, I love how he just fix your tie Elvis, and then he's just like, "I'm not letting you in."
No one will be seated when the show starts. It helps maintain the illusion. Miss Watson, she's a friend of mine. She asked me to come, but not be late.
My favorite.
He dodges him, man. He's like, "Hey, you can't get in here. I'll stand in the."
Which is a real thing. Having been to a few Broadway shows in my time, that is a real thing. There are strict
here it is.
times.
Here's the woman playing the 67 iteration of the Spider-Man theme. Spider-Man does whatever Spider can. Yeah, and Tobey's like, "What the heck is this?"
Now, if only she was saying Hero by Nickelback on violin, that would have been better.
Oh, dude, if she was playing Hero by Nickelback, that would have been even better.
That would have been great.
I freaking love that song. I don't care what anyone says.
I think the end credit songs in both of the first movies are great because you get Hero at the end of the first one,
Jack
you get
Kroger and Josie
Vindicated
Scott
at the end of this one,
Hero
and Ordinary, both great songs.
I like Hero personally. I like it a lot. But
yeah, that's my favorite of them all.
By the way, Vanessa Ferlito, who plays Mary Jane Watson, BFF, has been in dozens of TV series, including
Yeah.
CSI New York, including the CSI franchise. And she was in the hit series that should have lasted a lot longer than 2 minutes, Graceland on USA Network. That should have lasted a lot more than 2 minutes. That's a criminally underrated crime drama. Go back and watch it, because not only do you get my girl Vanessa Farlito in that show, but you also get what's her name? The magician, Zatanna. Zorinda Swan is in that. So go back and watch it. Graceland was on for 3 seasons.
Our first look at John Jameson.
My son. By the way, not only that, Daniel Gillies is one of the originals in the originals from TVD, The Vampire Diaries.
See, man, you feel for Peter right now, man. Like, I am like, you can't
it's
win.
tough, because he, it's one thing to hear, oh, I'm trying to see somebody, but then you see them together and you're like, oh, she's moved on.
Well, there's that among other things. By the way, for those of you just joining us and wondering what the Bantha fodder is going on, this is Spider-Man 2 20th Anniversary Watch Along. We are 28 minutes and 48 seconds into this movie. Queue up your copy on physical media or streaming service. Watch the movie along with us. Comment below in the chat or the comments. Don't forget to like and share this with everyone that you know. And if you're joining us live or what is known as a replay, we thank you so much for being with us.
And that's how one of the episodes would end. Him trying to do that and nothing. And then we'll see you next week.
Weird.
Yeah. And as a kid, you watch this for the first time, you're like, wait, what's happening? Like, what do you mean his webs aren't working?
Yeah, I was confused by this too. Why aren't his web shooters working? It doesn't make a whole, because they're coming out of his arm. They're not organic web shooters like he does in the comics.
This really great scene that once again is horrible in the extended cut. This is funny.
Does anyone know who the name of this actor, by the way?
I do not, but
he looks
from. There was a show I watch, Hack the Movies, the channel, and they did their review of Spider-Man 2. He was apparently like a big MTV guy at the time.
Oh yeah,
that's why he's probably in this. Cool
Spidey outfit. Thanks. Yeah, he's got to ride the elevator because his web shooters are broke. Where'd you get it? I made it. What about you, Dion? Would you make your own Spidey costume, or would you get it off of our good friends at Amazon?
Okay, hear me out real quick. I've been looking and thinking of a Dragon Con sort of cosplay.
For this year or next year?
Well, maybe not this year.
Right. But so this is next year when you, me, and the other channels invade Dragon Con.
Yeah, we're gonna do the Joker, but yeah, I'm looking at stuff to make the eyes move. Because there's all these mechanical sort of tutorials on how to make it work. So I really want to do that.
Ooh.
So that should answer the question. You prefer when the eyes are moving like the Tom Holland costume?
I like it. I really do like it.
Yeah, no. Well, it's like the comics. I mean, in the comics, his eyes.
Yeah, I want them.
But it makes sense. I mean, that is a question I have for you guys. Favorite of the movies, because if we go to comics, there's way too many. Out of the movies, which is your favorite Spider-Man suit?
Of the movies? I mean, this one.
Yeah.
Tobey's my number one, hands down.
For me, it's the first Andrew Garfield. Really, because it feels believable that a high school kid could have made that.
Okay.
So there's that element to it.
So the end of No Way Home, that suit, I want to see it. We saw it in motion a bit, right? But I want to just see it. I like how that looked too. I like.
Yeah, it was very comic accurate too.
You could believe he made that now. He has no bells and whistles, no kill mode, no nothing.
Which I like. It's one of my problems with those Tom Holland movies is he's not really Spider-Man. He's Iron Man Jr.
I think he'd feel more like it now because no one knows him. No one knows. That's the.
Oh, so the Doctor, what's his face? Doctor Strange's spell actually worked in the end.
As far as we know, we technically haven't seen him since then.
Okay. Yeah. So it worked. Everyone's memory's been wiped. There was this obnoxious usher. Somebody has to.
Yeah, there was this obnoxious usher. He reminded me of this guy when I went to this wrestling event a couple of years ago.
What's your name, kid? The human
gotta be brothers or something, I guess.
I got you for 3 minutes.
Yeah, but the human spider, that's it? That's the best you got? Yeah. Oh, that
sucks.
Dude, the fact that that's Bruce Campbell doing all that just makes it all the more funnier. It's just so good.
Well, I love that he is he's the tutorial voice in all the Spider-Man games.
Yeah, dude, when I play the Spider-Man 1 video game and it's him telling me what to do, I'm like, dude, Bruce Campbell's everywhere.
And if you skip the tutorial, he's like, oh, you're too good for this. Okay, fine.
I will be honest though, Matt. I don't think I played Spider-Man 2, the video game. I think I may have played it once, and I don't remember it. But I've only played Spider-Man 1, the original game, and it was fun. It was fun to play it for the time.
It's the web swinging is so much more fun in Spider-Man 2, and it's open world. And you can go into some of the shops and stuff.
Well, you know what? I can always go on YouTube and just look at the playthroughs.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's the game that kind of these newer Spider-Man games have taken a lot from.
Really?
They're perfect, man.
Yeah,
if
you watch, you'll see.
Has anyone lost a roll of bills in a rubber band? Because we found the rubber band.
I really like how Harry, I like how he kind of laughs at it, but he's really nervous. I like Harry a lot in these movies. I think Spider-Man 3, unfortunately, he was the byproduct of just having too many characters. But he, in these first two, I think he's really well handled.
All right, this is going to sound like a silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Matt, what do you think? How attractive is Donna Murphy in the two movies? Does she look more attractive in Star Trek Insurrection or this one?
She is an attractive one all the time. I'm a little bit more of a Star Trek fan than my Spider-Man one, so I'm gonna go with my man Picard. I'm gonna go with Insurrection, baby, and I intend to use them all.
Yeah,
I'll go with Insurrection.
Okay. Maybe I should sit back down and rewatch Insurrection since I have all the movies on Blu-ray.
Great.
I have them all on Blu-ray.
It's very
I did it too.
Unnecessarily hated. A lot of people are like, "Oh, it just feels like a two-parter of Next Gen." I'm like, "Have you seen two-parters of Next Gen? That's a compliment."
Yeah, but no. I'll have to go back and rewatch what's it called, Insurrection, because I have them all on Blu-ray anyway. So I'll just sit down.
Go and do it. Tell me what you think when you revisit it.
I will. I'll tell you
what.
what.
Your second look episode. 100%.
I may have some time this week to go over Insurrection, so I'll text you when I'm done.
I've been wanting to watch it. I might even watch it tonight now. I've been wanting to have a movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I might. Not really doing anything after this.
Maybe I'll just pull out my Star Trek collection and just watch Insurrection after this. I don't know.
There you go.
Never mind. I know how I felt during this. This was 2004.
Yeah, it was.
There's certain moments like in comic book movies where you're like, holy, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
That's Doc Ock, or that's going to be Doc.
That's the moment. That's
the moment for me where I was like, holy,
yeah, he's got the neural inhibitor chip on his back.
Yeah, he's got this nice little plastic piece to cover it. I'm sure nothing will happen to it.
It's explained perfectly. It's oh god, man.
Have you guys seen the behind the scenes clip of Willem Dafoe doing this scene?
No.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, Sam Raimi brought him. Basically, Sam Raimi pulls out from Molina and he's like, now let's just go over the scene. This is kind of how I want it, and then just cuts to Willem Dafoe doing the whole thank you, Harry Osborn. It's great. I check it out. Now, this is a very comic book thing, but people
happy to pay the bills, Otto.
I feel the need to bring it up.
Which part?
If this is supposed to be a machine that's gonna, it's gonna help with energy and all this.
With the tritium,
yeah. Have your basis of it be something that there's so few limited resources of? Shouldn't you make it I don't know, water?
Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts. That's a great line, by the way.
Fasten the sun
in the palm of my hand. There are some good comic booky lines in here. You know what I mean?
It's a good balance, man.
It is. They keep it real, but they also know when to make it comic booky.
For Ryan's talking about shows. For anybody who's a fan of the Hawaii Five-0 reboot, there's Jim Kelly. I love that show.
Daniel Day Kim. Daniel Day Kim.
Wasn't he in Lost too?
Yeah, he was in Lost. He was in Lost. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He likes Hawaii. They just like bringing him back to Hawaii for some reason. Daniel Day Kim has a really good.
Dude, if someone paid me to make a TV show in Hawaii, I would
do that.
Yeah, but here's the thing: he made Lost for how many years? 6 years, and then he was on Hawaii Five-0 for the first 7 of 10 seasons. So dude, he was basically living on Hawaii for 15 years.
Dude, Hawaii Five-0, I love that show. I started rewatching it recently.
Did you know that we interviewed McGarrett's dad for And I Quote a long time ago? Did you know that we interviewed William Sadler? Yeah.
Wait. That's right. Yes, I watched that one live.
Yeah.
Because remember, I told you, I was like, I wish you would have asked him as Naked Kung Fu
that was
from
the first.
Die Hard 2. I remember that.
That was the first episode of And I Quote we ever did, ladies and gentlemen. We interviewed William Sadler, who's been in so many iconic
I remember that now.
movies and TV series. And I did ask him, I said, what was it like? Did you play McGarrett's father in Hawaii Five-0? He's like, oh man, it was so much fun.
I thought you were going to say you interviewed Alex Rogan, more Steve, because I was like,
oh, you mean Alex O'Loughlin? Alex O'Loughlin. Yeah.
I would have been really jealous of you, then, Ryan.
Oh, no.
Well, I would have asked Alex O'Loughlin, hey, why did they cancel your show Moonlight? Because it was so freaking good, man. It was a good vampire show on CBS.
I love this. Where it's like, this doesn't change anything.
But Harry was acting like a child before.
It was like, this is my machine. If you don't buy me Reese's Puffs, Mom, I'm gonna scream.
This doesn't. What did he say? This doesn't change anything. Thank you.
Yeah.
He gets. Oh, look, Spider-Man's trying to pull the plug, and he gets hit into the wall.
Yep.
So it's like, Oh, here comes Donna Murphy's. Here comes Donna Murphy's scene, Matt.
Maybe you could have, I don't know, moved out of the way.
She could have ran, dude.
But you know what? I get it. You're in the moment. You're terrified. It's okay.
Dude, she easily could have ran. Easily.
Yeah, 100%. She could have. Or covered her face up, something. But again,
I love this shot.
It's a good balance between practical and visual effects.
Oh man, we're gonna be coming up to just a scene pulled straight out of an Evil Dead movie coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, that was Sam Raimi's tip of the hat to Evil Dead. There was
especially
it Evil Dead 2?
A very specific moment in that as well. We'll get to that very soon. I'm ruined. All I have is Spider-Man.
He did save your life, sir.
What's wild about that too? We talked about the eyes moving, right? For Tom Holland, I felt everything Peter just felt. Or Spider-Man just felt when they went to black. Like he was like, "Oh, this is a disaster." Good grief! It caught me up, man.
He humiliated me by touching me.
Oh man, the early 2000s fashion back in those sunglasses. You know what? For a woman who got killed by a bunch of glass, her face is really not as cut up as I.
Because they made it look like her face was torn up. Hence the reason they cut away from her. No pun intended, by the way, Donna Murphy.
Oh, Ryan.
But I'm like, they show her face getting covered in a blanket. I'm like, dude, she didn't even get cut up that bad.
Yeah, like you'd think if you.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't understand.
I feel like quoting Mr. Plank from his Attack of the Clones review, to where it's like, "You look great, fantastic death scene."
Man, look at this.
Oh, here we go. Anybody take shop
this
class?
is your friendly. What is it called? This is your friendly neighborhood tribute to the Evil Dead series, isn't it?
Yes, 100%.
By the way, anybody here ever take shop class? What do you think, Dion? Did you ever take shop class? I did back in high school. I did in high school. It was called Tech Ed back then. It was called Tech Ed.
Yeah, that's right. I took Tech Ed in middle school as well.
Did you?
7th and 8th grade. Yep.
Yeah, I was there, Matt. I took it from 7th and 8th grade. I was there. Why did that thing just move? That's so weird. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, something just moved. Did anyone notice that?
Boom.
Oh, man.
Everyone's about to get pummeled here.
Yep. Crazy. Oh, the nails on the floor. Oh.
Why didn't she just run? Or run faster? I don't know. I don't know.
It runs so fast, my man.
I know, but I know I'm being nitpicky, but it's like that woman easily could have ran 30 yards before that arm even got to her.
Man.
They're all getting torn up.
We're going to see the most heroic character in the movie coming up, though, in a few seconds here.
Yeah, right. Yep. There are the nails on the
there we go.
Floorboards. Is it floor? Or
this guy right here. This is the true hero of the movie, man. He's like, I've seen Evil Dead.
I know how to chainsaw arm. He's pulling a Ash versus Evil Dead thing here.
Yeah. And that shot right there is, if you've seen Evil Dead, there's a shot of an eyeball going. It's the same kind of shot. So this whole thing has very little nods to the Evil Dead
I was not
trilogy, which the best of, or at least my favorite, is Army of Darkness. The third one is my favorite.
Wow, that was a very
I'd be fascinated to know of all the parents who took their kids to this movie and be like, "Oh, hey, they love Spider-Man. Let's say," and they're just like, "Oh my god."
The movie basically turned into a horror film for for
a little bit.
For 60 seconds, Dion. 60 seconds. Was it 60 seconds? Probably. Anyone want to time that? Anyway, so by the way, for those of you just joining us and wondering why we're trying to keep track of the time here, that's because we're doing what is known as a 20th anniversary watch-along celebration of Spider-Man 2, which is currently at 42 minutes and 20 seconds into this movie. So
we're finally getting caught up to where Ryan was before the stream.
Thank you. You're welcome. Don't, like I said, Feel free to queue up your copy on physical media or streaming service. Comment along with us in the chat. Do not forget to like and share this with every single person.
Hey, I'm walking
And you
in.
could possibly know. And if you're watching this live on the replay, we thank you so much for being with us. And Doc Ock just escaped the hospital. Thank you. That's where you are in the movie, folks. That's your recap.
Oh, man. I'm not talking, but I'm just kidding. I'm just caught in the movie, man.
You're caught up in the moment.
I'm just caught up in it.
If you go back to
Didn't that happen to us a couple weeks ago, Matt?
Yeah,
we're just sitting
we did when we did A Few Good Men Together, Ryan. This is a number of years ago.
That was
a moment
last
to where
year.
during the court scene we just like
2
we're
years
silent,
ago.
and then we even realized we're like, sorry guys, we're just kind of getting engrossed in this
Awesome.
film.
Rumors, panic in the streets. We're lucky. Crazy scientist turns out some kind of a monster. 4 mechanical arms welded right onto his body.
A man called Otto Octavius winds up with 8 limbs.
What are the odds?
What are the odds? Doctor Strange?
Hoffman. By the way, that's Sam Raimi's brother, Ted Raimi.
Yep.
Dr. Octopus.
Science Squid? Nah. Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
That's pretty good. But it's taken. See, that was a good Marvel reference right there.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, I love them. No universe, but there is a universe, you know?
Yeah, because he says Doctor Strange, you know, there's other references too, but it's just like, oh, that's interesting. By the way, to answer your question from earlier, because I know we kind of bounced around it, Matt and Dion. I don't know if you brought in the characters. Let me put it to you this way: if they had crossed over, that even though they at the time they couldn't do it. If you had crossed over Bryan Singer's X-Men with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, that would have been freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But if you bring in Ben Affleck's iteration of Daredevil, which didn't go over well with a lot of people, I don't think it would have worked as well. But
and the moment.
Hey, for what?
Yeah, serious? The amount of times I've used this GIF in my time on social media, man. What a gift J.K. Simmons was in this role.
Dude, you tweeted at me today this GIF.
Oh yeah, I did. I used it. Yeah,
you tweeted it.
It's
you
so
tweeted
perfect.
it, man.
But now,
I mean, memes I've come from. I think one of my favorites was years ago. It was like, it's J. Jonah Jameson. He's like, I'm gonna skip school, and then it's Peter Parker's like, but pep rally's gonna be awesome. And then it's just the laughing of, you serious?
Pay for what? Standing there? Sorry, Dion. You were gonna say something about the crossover.
Oh no.
That we gotten?
Yeah. Just with like the 94, well, the 90s cartoon, right?
Oh yeah.
He was very similar to what we see now, right? Or play off of him. I feel like J.K. Simmons, that character now is him in everything. Like, it's just, even the Spider-Man video games recently, that was him. Like, he's taking that character now. Just like
he's
always going to be J.K. Simmons.
He has in a way, his performance is so good that now it's just like when people think of J. Jonah Jameson, they just think of J.K. It's honestly, I think it's the reason why the Amazing Spider-Man movies didn't bring in J. Jonah Jameson. They kind of left them to just the email because they're like, we're already going to be compared to these movies. I don't think we can cast this better. You know, it's just like, I don't think we can cast it better. You get that sometimes. Whenever I see the scene, I think of the joke from the Nostalgia Critic when he's doing the top 11 dumb Spider-Man moments. He's talking about maybe Doc Ock's arms.
Oh, really?
No, I kind of miss my wife. Okay.
Yeah, it's just him walking like that.
It is like he is like for a moment he's like, my Rosie's dead. It's like, well, time to build the big old death machine.
Got to do it. I
Gotta do it. But yeah, the mix of practical and CGI arms is really great in this movie. But that was, you know, the late 90s, early 2000s. That was really the last time they were doing a meld between the two. Whereas now it's all CGI.
Now it's all or nothing. Yeah, it's all or nothing.
Yeah, it's all. So even when they want like Jurassic World, the first one, they had more practical dinosaurs, but then just CGIing over them.
Yeah, well, that first Jurassic,
the
first Jurassic Park was such a CGI marvel, like the first of its kind. Like it killed stop motion, pretty much. So
Joe McHale, which I know very well from Community, which if you watch this movie, you go, oh, so you kind of paid to have your hairline kind of extended, didn't you, buddy?
Yeah, you got that
also, if you're a comic book fan, he was in Stargirl for a bit. And he's very good in this. Yeah. Also, if you've ever seen the spoof movie, superhero movie, I figured
I've seen it.
I figured this scene a lot.
Oh my goodness! Like they couldn't win, man. Like
yeah,
you
can't even get the toaster, man. You can't even get the toaster.
But see, then they got the perfect person, Joel McHale. Like
yeah, because I love Joel McHale, and that's why I really love him as Jeff Wayne comedian, because he has that like really like jerk energy.
Yes,
that just does work very like, and he's not, because everything I've seen, like his interview with Michael Rosenbaum, seems like nothing but the nicest guy, but like he can play very well into that like just kind of jerk energy.
Yeah, that's what he gives off.
Hero. Very poor choice of words.
I love the Ninja Turtles disguise.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, and
look,
also
man,
the
trench
color,
coats
you got to remember
the
color.
I'm telling you, as a New Yorker, you just walk around in trench coat and a fedora hat, no one's gonna look at you. Okay.
Yeah,
no one's gonna think that's strange if you wear that into a bank.
And the color scheme is very comic bookish, because in the animated series of '94, he was wearing green and what do you call it, like dark orange.
And this is also where Spider-Man this time around, they sort of tried to up his quippiness, as a lot of fans complained the first movie. He's not really as quippy as Spider-Man usually is.
Yeah.
Which I think it's good, but I think Andrew Garfield just nailed that part of the character. Like the quips and everything are so good in those movies.
Not anymore. Man, look at him. He's all suited up trying to kill Spider-Man with those new tentacles of his. Good Lord. Oh, some good action sequences with visual effects, too.
Yeah, we were talking when you stepped out for a minute. We were talking about how this era of film was really the last to really do a meld between CGI and practical.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now it's just all CGI, sadly.
All CGI.
Before you know, it'll be all AI, not even CGI.
Yeah, let's not talk about Skynet taking over the world.
Oh, well, coming up is going to be Bonnie Somerville, former Schmoes No host. I'll point her out. She's right there. She's the woman that streams here. It's Bonnie Somerville.
I did not know
that. Actually, when she had Twitter, or she might still have Twitter, but I know she had that in her bio. She was like, woman screaming from Spider-Man 2.
Oh, there she goes.
I mean, I would have that on my Twitter bio if I was just a random
Look at that.
Spider-Man movie.
He's got all the money. He's got Aunt May. Hand her over. Of course.
Butterfingers.
Psych.
Butterfingers. Wow, this Doc Ock is crazy. He's out of his mind.
Bless you. Oh, Stan Lee.
There's your Stan Lee cameo.
There he is.
Yep, there's your Stan Lee cameo. Blink and you'll miss it.
Now, this is the second time we get a Stan Lee cameo in these movies where he's saving someone. Because in the first movie, he saves the little girl from
look at this, man.
From falling debris as well, I think.
Hang on. See, we're getting all comic booky here, fellas.
This is so good, man. Like, it takes me back to that movie theater, man. It's just like
being in the theater with 300 screaming fans.
Just hearing or seeing this on screen for the very first time blew my mind, man. This whole movie blew my mind, man. It was Saturday mornings, but taken to 11.
We turn it up to 11. Do you remember hearing the 94 theme song in the back of your head while these images are playing out?
Dude, I've seen people do cuts with that song in this movie or this his final swing.
How did you know?
Love it.
Music rocks, man.
Come on, Dion Spider-Man. Come on.
I love a good slingshot too, man.
Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. This woman's death on your conscience.
A good Spider-Man slingshot. Oh, I love it.
Here he comes, man. He's coming.
I do this on the video game regularly.
Shame on you.
Yeah, Aunt May's like, nah, you shouldn't get away with this.
Boom.
Bang! Right into the face, right into his eyes.
Man.
Not a bad use of CGI here, fellas.
That was the most needed shot in that whole movie.
Look at Doc.
Bill Pope was like that. This is what we need, Sam. We need this shot.
There you go.
Now, at least unlike Mary Jane in the first movie, he leaves her off at not just a random rooftop.
What do you mean we? Take me with you, Spider. See, all the girls like, want to be rescued or taken along with Spider-Man. It's just, oh boy, it's really excuse me for saying this, chick magnet, isn't he?
Yeah,
man, this swing.
Most superheroes are.
Romantic jazz music is playing. Oh, hey, what do you know about high society?
My son, the astronaut.
My son, the astronaut.
John Jameson, who, you know,
see, he can't even
win that.
Dude, he can't even get a piece of food. He can't even get a piece of food or
and
even
they
a
try to
photograph.
take a picture, but he has the cover on, and they leave.
Man, Pete.
Yeah, this whole you feel real.
Dion, he can't catch a
this
break,
coming
brother.
up. You really feel for him.
Well, look at Osborne. He's not doing so well either, isn't he?
Yeah.
Hey, you might want to take it easy there, buddy. Why? It's a party. Wouldn't you be drinking if you lost a bundle in some crackpot who you thought was going to help you with him to fame and fortune? Not to mention your friend the Bug. Listen, not tonight, Harry. Every night. Till we find him, it's 24/7.
Okay, given how this movie ended and everything, could Harry have just been the main villain in the third one?
I think that's kind of where they wanted
to go, but studio interference prevented him from doing it.
In your opinion, do you think he could have carried it as the main villain for the third one? I think the story was good enough.
It was.
I think 100% you could have. I think you have built up this. I do think, no, this is what I think. I think you still have Sandman in there because I like them becoming friends and teaming up together. But that's why I think you do kind of like a Two-Face Riddler, Batman Forever, and then it's like Sandman almost turns on Harry, and then they can kind of team up together.
Captain John Jameson,
who honestly, like, I don't fully dislike in the context of the movie what they do with Eddie Brock, making him kind of like a mirror image of Peter Parker, but they probably could have had John Jameson be Venom in the next movie because it could have made sense. You have a reason for him to hate Peter Parker. He's an astronaut, so he goes into space, and the symbiote he brings back. It all could have worked.
It's all set up.
I didn't even think of that. Didn't even think of it. That's a valid point.
Again, but what they go with is making Eddie Brock a sort of dark mirror image, whereas he's willing to, fake photos and everything. I get what they were going for, but it's just like, man, you kind of had a perfect, okay, it's not Eddie Brock, but
yeah, they hired that weird dude from that 70s show to play Brock. Yeah, that was smart.
Topher Grace.
Bad move, Hollywood. Horrible move.
Again, I don't blame Topher Grace on that.
I blame him.
They casted him for what they wanted, which was dark Peter Parker. That's exactly. And look, Topher Grace is such a nerd, that
he is. Yeah,
I mean, you hear him talking about the movie, the commentary track. He's great on. Like, he even talks about being at New York Comic Con and seeing the trailer for the first time, just like freaking out. That's why I feel bad that I'm like, everybody craps on him because it's like he did a pretty good job for what was asked for. It's just what was asked for is not Eddie Brock and Venom.
5 times. Harry has seen it twice. May has seen it. My mother got out
my
of bed
dad even showed up to ask for money.
Even my father. He came backstage to borrow cash.
So wait, Mary Jane, what you're saying is if Peter showed up backstage to ask for rent money, you'd be okay with that? Because Peter can do that. He can do that.
The person who cares so much about me can't even make an 8 o'clock curtain after all these years. Man, I'm telling you, you feel for this kid, man. He loses his. He's losing his job. He's losing his grades. He's losing his girl. He's losing rent.
He's losing his best friend.
He's losing food. He's losing drinks. He's losing his best friend. Like, he loses everything.
Yeah, this scene is just rough for him.
This is
what makes Spider-Man as a character in the context of the comics in this movie
but when
relatable.
Harry just starts slapping in the face, man, that's rough.
Yeah, and then Harry tries to beat up on. Yep. See, you know what? Your loyalty to Spider-Man and not your best friend. I found him with my father's body. You defend it because he's just your bread and butter. Hey, take it. Don't push me. Don't act like you're my friend. See, this is getting real heated.
Yeah.
MJ for me, you stole my father's love.
All valid.
And you let him die because you didn't turn into the freak. Isn't that right? Isn't that right?
And then I like, again, things like that. Like they do have that shot in the first movie when it's graduation and Harry sees Norman talking to Peter. Like he does feel that. He's like, I think my dad does love Peter more than me. Like, it's obviously he's drunk, but as someone who works at a bar, sometimes when people get drunk, real things come out. Sadly.
In one night, he's lost
everything.
In a day, like
in a single, Parker. Yeah. Parker, wake up! Shoot the picture. Wake up!
Yeah, it's just.
Would this make you not want to be Spider-Man anymore, or would you go more full into Spider-Man? Would you be more Peter Parker or more Spider-Man after that?
It's a valid question, brother.
Valid question. I mean, personally, and maybe this is just me, I kind of would be like, well, I really got nothing going as Peter Parker. Might as well just go all in on Spider-Man. But
look at this.
I just realized the music here is a callback to the music when Uncle Ben dies in the first movie.
It's funny how they make references to his back injuries in Seabiscuit. He was shooting Seabiscuit when he was shooting this, and originally they weren't gonna
because he hurt his back. Yeah,
I don't know if anyone remembers this, but he hurt his back really bad to the point where he didn't think he was going to come back to shoot Spider-Man 2 because of what happened on Seabiscuit. But he came back, did Spider-Man 2.
But do you know who they were going to have replaced?
They were going to have Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
They were going to have Gyllenhaal replace Maguire as the new Spider-Man.
Funny because they went on to play brothers in a movie called Brothers later.
Yes.
Which it's interesting to think had that happened. I wonder how this movie would have turned out and what would have happened with the series had Jake Gyllenhaal, come in. Because obviously now we all know, it's Tobey's trilogy, it's all this, but like at the time, there really was only one movie.
There was some doubt there.
Comic book movies before this, you had Val Kilmer only play Batman once, and then he was replaced. So there was it was not a new thing. Obviously, even going back to James Bond, George Lazenby only played James Bond once, so it's not
Timothy Dalton only played him twice.
Oh, my back.
By the way, Dave Manley says my back, which is something that happens later in the film.
Yeah. No Way Home, they do a call back to it too.
Oh, they call back to it. All three of them say, "Yeah, I've had trouble with my back in the last couple of years." Like, yeah, because it hurts your back. But yeah, Tobey Maguire unfortunately was able to shoot both Seabiscuit and Spider-Man 2 at the same time, or back to back. So and then he came back to Spider-Man 3. So
you didn't answer, man. More Peter Parker or more Spider-Man? If you just lost everything in a day like that.
I would say I go more Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go harder into my superhero role. It's like, you know what? No one else cares about me. I might as well just be the superhero.
Yeah, it'd be like Batman in the Lonely Place of Dying storyline after Jason Todd dies. He just becomes more ferocious Batman because he's kind of lost everything.
That's not healthy, guys. That's not
well, for the
not at all.
For that iteration,
I'm not saying it's healthy. But you laid out the question.
Jeez.
It's hard for me not to say like I go full in on like it's my job
now is pretty solid, but if I became Spider-Man, I'm sorry, my dad. I've never given up.
Jeez.
Oh man, I'm younger than you guys, but I do remember, me and my brother after watch one of these movies. You'd start, you'd be in the pool and you pretend you're like hanging off the wall.
I'm sure there's a lot of individuals who share those kind of experiences. By the way, we are currently at 1 hour, 1 minute, 25 seconds into this movie known as Spider-Man 2 for its 20th anniversary watch along. Do not forget to like and share this with every single person that you know. If you're watching this live on a replay, we thank you for being with us. And if you want to watch the movie along with us through physical media or what is known as a streaming service, you're more than welcome to do so and comment below in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. Can't you understand? I'm in love with Mary Jane. Now he's telling the ghosts of his past, I don't want to be Spider-Man anymore.
You need to stop simping.
Which, by the way, this is another comic booky moment from the comics when he tosses the outfit into the trash can. That's literally...
it's the cover of Spider-Man No More.
Yeah.
Straight from the comic.
Right out of the comics, which, once again, it goes back to what we were saying earlier. Sam Raimi and the cast and the crew knew how to make this a movie, but also how to pay tribute to the comics.
There's an appreciation for
the comics. I think Sam Raimi did a great job.
Thing. It wasn't like we got to get away from doing this. because this makes no sense in real life. No.
And again, I
give
think
me
that's
everything.
which I love the first X-Men movie, but Blade, the first X-Men movie, they lean a little bit more into being action movies, to where Spider-Man 1 and 2 are comic book movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's because Sam Raimi, I think, really did have the passion for Spider-Man.
And I think that's what makes a good superhero movie, right? You lean into what those superheroes are and what they, I guess, even if how they look, you know?
It all goes back to the Richard Donner quote, which is, you take the material seriously, but you don't take yourself seriously.
Exactly.
And that man made the comic book movie that pretty much every comic book movie afterwards kind of took something from. I know Robert Wool would say it was Batman 89, but it's up there. But Superman the movie.
Yeah, fun fact. Tim Burton's Batman turned 35 last week, and just recently, the other day, we had Robert Wool, who played a very pivotal role in Batman.
Yeah, I watched a bit of that, yeah.
Yeah, that was a great interview. Thank you again to Robert Wool for spending some time with us during his busy schedule. Thank you, Robert, for being with us. That was a fun time. And, man, Robert, you're a true cinephile, man. You were pulling stuff everywhere, and I'm thinking, man, there's some movies I got to watch that I've never seen before, so Lord knows.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid music right here.
Yep. I've seen Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Robert Wool. If you're watching this, I've seen it, okay?
Now I even liked him even more. Like, I never disliked Peter in any of these movies.
There's just one moment where I'm like, I get you're not Spider-Man Peter, but you could have done something. But we'll get to that when we get to that.
Back to glasses. Back to skin.
Back to the way he was in the first movie. Slipping on the job, those raindrops falling on my head. Come on now. No one knows this song? That's
of course. Because I'm free.
And then he loses his bike wheel out the window. You punk. Sorry.
Hey, can you just throw that back up here?
Yeah, just throw that bike. What's it called?
So
bike wheel,
interesting behind the scenes thing is Tobey Maguire is actually a vegetarian, so that is not a hot dog he's eating. It's a vegetarian dog.
He ate it and went on with life.
He's reading his textbooks. Did you notice that?
Yeah, he's actually doing his homework. And I guess somewhere in that classroom is Gwen Stacy.
Which one is Gwen Stacy?
No, I'm just saying because in the next movie they're classmates.
Oh, okay, because I was like, is she in this movie? Yeah. I was like, hey, that blonde right behind
him.
Yeah,
that blonde. That's actually Gwen Stacy.
Excellent work today, Parker. Keep
it
up.
And freeze frame.
Cause
so doofy, but so
it's so good.
They leaned into it, man.
Yeah.
I'm not wicked, cousin Cicely. You must know I'm wicked. If you're not, then you've certainly been deceiving us. See, he shows up to the play finally. You believe this?
He finally gets there.
He finally gets there. It took him a minute, though, Dion.
I mean, if the guy sitting next to him was like, "Is that awful?"
Yeah, see? She doesn't even remember her lines. Does anyone remember her line?
The thing is, he takes pictures of Spider-Man, and Jonah puts him out as he's a menace. So he gets no love from no one, really.
Yeah, seriously. Even J. Jonah Jameson thinks he's a menace to society.
Yeah.
Well, remember, he says he turned the whole city against him. A fact I'm very proud of.
Well, the paper he read when he couldn't see, it said Doc Ock and Spider-Man robbed bank. Like, it was like...
By the way, I know that actor who's acting alongside Mary Jane in this scene. I forget his name, but he's been in dozens and dozens of TV series that I've seen him on. I'm sorry, sir. I don't remember your name, but...
Mr. Jameson...
remember you.
You know what you're doing there? That's slander. No, it's not. In print,
slander is spoken. In print, it's libel. Dude, I'm telling you, the way he does it.
I took a journalism course, and so obviously we had to learn about that, and that was how I would remember that.
Did you bring up the J. Jonah?
Spider-Man was just like, I took a test once, and they asked the difference, and I knew it because of J. Jonah Jameson.
Exactly, because he gave us the definitions of both. Slander is spoken. In print, it's libel. So, see what I did there? We know our stuff, fellas.
This is always just one of those little nitpicky things. Why is he not wearing his glasses now? Hasn't it shown that he needs his glasses? Or
you can't talk.
Can he just not see her right now? Is he just seeing blurs? And he's just looking at the one in front of him, hoping it's her.
Maybe he's what do you call it? What's the expression? He's nearsighted, guys.
Oh, maybe. You know what? Maybe that's it.
He's nearsighted, man. Pick up where we left off. Where was that? We never even got on. See, Mary Jane's bringing up the facts.
Pick up where we left off. All right, fine. Let's go back to Norman Osborn's grave and let's start making
grave
out
in the
again.
funeral. I'm not an empty seat anymore. See, he's trying to convince her. Punch me, I bleed.
Really? You should get that checked out, Peter. I mean, stabbing you bleed, sure, but just a punch? That's something like a medical condition you gotta get looked into. All right, how unbelievable is this? There's just some cab sitting there? Come on. It's not New York City. You should have to chase that thing down. That's not realistic.
Listen. I've been to New York a number of times, and I have family who lives up there too. So yeah, it's not easy getting a cab sometimes.
No, bro. That's why planes, trains, and automobiles shows it perfectly how difficult it is to get a cab.
Why don't you try the airlines? It's a lot faster. You get a free meal.
He was faking. He couldn't see.
Yeah, he literally was just seeing blurs in front of him.
Oh man!
Like, oh my god.
Hey, look at this. Doc Ock still at large. Isn't that nice? Not going to bankruptty. Caviar.
I wish we could have gotten more Robbie though too.
Because there is the nice little like. I heard Spider-Man was there. It's like, does Robbie know that Peter's Spider-Man?
Robbie.
Does he know?
Robbie knows.
Yeah.
He low key felt. I felt like he always knew, sort of. You know.
Yeah. Well, we won't see the very famous scene that comes from this exchange.
He wears it, right?
I'm not quite sure where. It's been a while since I watched 2.1, but it's not too long after this that we get to see J.K. Simmons bouncing around, which I'm sure J.K. Simmons must have had just a ton of fun doing.
And throwing a bar of soap.
Give this man $100 and throw in a bar of soap.
See, because this would have felt more for me. Like if you didn't know Robbie, you wouldn't. I don't know. I wanted more Robbie to get to that point that he knew who he was.
Yeah, like it would have been, because there are people who know superheroes' identities, and it's nice to have that one friend you can confide in. If Robbie was that one, it's kind of like in Lois and Clark in season 3 when Lois knows Clark is Superman, how she's able to help him at the Daily Planet, stuff like that. You could have had something like that,
Brings back the good old Dean.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know you're not Spider-Man, but I'm pretty sure you can help that dude, Peter.
It's still New York City, though, right?
Like you can still get a cop, okay? Like you can help. You don't just have to walk away from the poor guy. You can even just scream, "I'm calling the police."
So why? So we both can get beat up? Like, what's it, beat up and robbed? Like.
Well,
his fate was already determined.
Shape.
His fate was already determined.
Just saying. That's the one moment where you're just like, I'm sure the guys being over, like, really? You're not gonna do? All right. We're gonna get to another rough scene coming up.
Like I said, man, you feel for him in this.
Yeah, man. This one
everything
in
and
particular is just, this is hard. And you'll understand both sides of it too.
Oh, here's another pivotal scene coming up.
Yeah.
Peter's going to have a little talk. Peter's going to reveal some dark truths here in a minute. Well, now he's saying he's responsible. For what happened to Uncle Ben? Oh, he drove me to the library, but I never went in. Wanted to buy a car, didn't he?
How much was that car? Like $300?
$3,000. Won the money, and the guy wouldn't pay me, and then he got robbed, and I just. Yep. Yeah. Truths are coming out, folks. It's not an easy thing. Oh boy, I let him get away.
It's okay, Peter. Technically, to stop that guy, wouldn't have done anything anyway.
I don't like how they retconned all this in the third one. I don't like it at all.
It really does ruin the
it
first
ruins the
movie.
whole. It ruins the first two movies
It's
to a
just
degree.
such a cheap way to have Peter hate Sandman.
Mm-hmm. Uncle Ben was killed that
Oh
night.
yeah, that's right. See,
Yeah.
I've removed the third one.
You're
so
like, I
far down.
blocked that retcon.
Yeah,
I was saying like, wait, what? Oh.
Dion, I hate to, Dion. There was no Spider-Man 3.
He doesn't even intentionally shoot him. He's like, has the worst trigger finger ever because his friend just bumps into him and then he just shoots Uncle Ben.
Yeah, eyes completely.
Yeah, well, that's because Dion and I
hand pulling back.
We're not aware of the. There's no third Spider-Man movie. There's only 2 of them. So
this is
he breaks the truth to Aunt May, and then Aunt May just can't even look at him.
And you know what? You can understand that she is processing that. She's like, if Peter was honest, Ben wouldn't have been where he was,
or she wouldn't. He
might have not been killed if if he had just been honest that he wasn't going to the library, that he was doing this. Ben might have not driven him, or maybe Ben would have let him go, and he wouldn't have. You understand it,
Well, she was carrying it around like she suggested to take him too, right? Like she was guilty on that end too, wasn't she?
He says, "Oh, I'm taking the subway," and then Uncle Ben, because they're having a conversation about Peter. Uncle Ben feels like he can't talk to him, and so he's like, "Oh, I want to get some exercise," because there was a whole fight with Flash. So it was because, as we all know, cars you can't really escape. So if you want to have hard conversations, it's a good place to do it. This is, of course, the same mansion used from Batman '89 is once again used.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, no, they use it. That's why they had the staircase. They had to be very careful of how they shot it, because they're like, "Oh, this is where Vicky Vale and Bruce Wayne make out. We got to be careful here."
Man, pretty ominous with the thunder and lightning, but there's no rain. No, you hear that? What is that? I hear steps. What is that? Where was the power trying to come back? Yeah, JP93, baby.
Where are you suppose he's going? When you gotta go, you gotta go.
When you gotta go, you gotta go. Jeff Goldblum has some good lines in there, doesn't he?
Well, he does.
Mm-hmm.
He's very angry.
Whoa.
Ooh.
That was a tentacle, wasn't it? Whoa.
Oh, the bloopers of how hard it was for them to take a drink out of this rocks glass is so funny.
That precious trinium. But I need more of it this time. More trinium? Are you crazy? You'll destroy the city. You're a hack. Oh, boy. Oh. Oh, boy. Harry pleading for his life.
Well, wouldn't you?
No, yeah. But it's just,
Even though it is one of those things to where, like, if you kill me, you don't get the tritium. So this is kind of an empty threat.
How do I find him? Peter Parker. Parker?
See, man,
take pictures of him for the Bugle.
Make
him tell you where he... Man, this gets real deep cut, man.
Yeah. Like it's...
this also goes into, so because he takes pictures of him, why does that make you think he knows him? Again, that's why I like in Amazing Spider-Man 2, at least, to where he's like, I take pictures of him from far away with a lens. It's like, why do you think I know him just because I take pictures of him? Nope, this scene here, which actually has an actor who was in the bridge scene from the first movie when all the New Yorkers were throwing stuff at Green Goblin.
Oh, is there an actor who makes a cameo here for that?
Yeah. The actor this guy right here, he's the one who's like, I got some for you there. You must have seen from New York.
Yeah, that was him. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they tie it back to the first movie.
brought him back because of that, or he's just a New York actor and just kind of worked out that they had him?
No. I find it cool that they're
That's gotta be
connecting the
deliberate.
first two films.
Yeah, it has to be. But I really like that.
So now Peter is going in to save a child from a burning
Now,
building.
Peter, you do know it could be Doc Ock wearing an old lady costume. Be careful. That's some bad experiences.
You mean like they did in the first movie?
Yeah, this is also this. This is also New York. It's kids sadly get trapped in burning buildings a lot.
Shit.
Language. That's America.
What did I do?
Sorry.
Keep these shows family friendly, man. Come on.
Somebody tried to call on the iPad.
I'm just kidding. Listen. We do our best to keep these family friendly, but if someone drops something, that's fine. I have no thing. You know why, Dion? We're human. It's okay.
Oh, okay. I thought I had said something. So I'm like, all I said was kids get trapped in burning buildings.
No, it happens all the time.
Because what time mark are we?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. No, it's okay. For those of you just joining us for Spider-Man 2's 20th anniversary watch along, we are currently 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 37 seconds into this movie. So queue up your copy on physical media or what is known as a streaming service. Watch the movie along with us. Comment below in the chat like everyone has been doing thus far. And if you're joining us live on a replay, we thank you for being with us. And do not forget to like and share this with every single person that you know. Deja Marie is here. She says, hi. Good to see you, Deja Marie. We love you. Man, that building is crumbling, man. It's going, man. See, he managed to save her in the nick of time. See, there's a little girl. See that? See, she got rescued, guys.
Trapped on the 4th floor.
Oh, I can't remember the line now.
Was it the 4th floor?
Yep.
I'm dreaming. Hey, you got some guts, kid. Some poor soul got trapped on the 4th floor. Never made it out. Oh, he missed the...
Really, Lou? Really? After I just told him that he had guts. You had to come and tell him that. Seriously, Lou? Come on, man. You do this every time.
Let's get all this equipment. Let's go. Let's move it.
Am I not supposed to be happy?
My nuts.
What I want. Oh, no, that's it. Yeah.
He says, am I not supposed to have what I want?
Yeah.
What I need?
What do you want, Peter?
What's the line? What's the line of that? By the way, fun fact for you fellas. This movie also turns 20 this year, where the guy looks at the girl and he says, what do you want? What do you want? Does anyone know what movie I'm referencing?
Yeah, The Notebook.
There you go. Dion, is that a date night movie for you?
It has been.
Okay.
Well,
Dion's like, that's just a Tuesday night movie for me.
It was once because like 2 years ago, I had never seen it.
What'd you think of it when you saw it?
I mean,
I've never seen it actually.
You never seen it?
Yeah, I just know that.
It has a big twist at the end. I'm not going to reveal.
I enjoyed it. It was pretty dope.
It has a huge.
I'll put it on my list.
It has a huge twist at the end. So, yeah.
You know, these are the moments I like in this movie when these movies to where it's like there's
clicking.
It's just like the world kind of sucks, but I think there is that kind of reminder, just like, you know, all she does is just offer him cake. You know, like you don't have to be Spider-Man to help out somebody in trouble. Just be nice.
She's a character actress as well. I just can't remember what else she's been in, but she's been in a number of things over the years. Oh, she was in Jennifer's Body, wasn't she? No. I'm thinking of Amanda Seyfried. Never mind. She's been in other movies. This actress, I forget her name. I apologize to that person, but yeah, you've been in some stuff, and you've made TV appearances. No, I can't remember her name. Gosh darn it, it's gonna ruin me. What's going on? They gave me another few weeks, but I decided to heck with it. Moving on. I found a small apartment. Well, why didn't you tell me anything about this? Well, I'm quite able to take care of things myself. Thank you. And Henry Jackson across the street over here has been giving me a hand. And I'm giving him $5. That's Henry Jackson? Yes. Well, it's funny what happens in 2 years. He's 9 years old, has great ambitions.
So the big question about this scene, does Aunt May know? Or is it she just so happens to have a perfect speech about being a hero set to go? Or does she suspect that he's not just Peter Parker?
Look, she's admitting you made a brave move in telling me the truth. And I'm proud of you for that. Wow. See? Talk about forgiveness there, folks. Between Aunt May and Peter Parker, don't you think?
As Michael Scott once said, forgiveness is next to godliness.
Oh, man. You know what? What is it called? The Office has reruns every day on Comedy Central.
It's my favorite TV show.
I should probably honestly, Matt, I need to go watch more episodes of The Office because it's on so much every day.
It's so good.
It's on every day.
When me and my wife can't find anything to watch, we'll just go on Peacock and watch The Office.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you could go on Peacock or Comedy Central, and I can guarantee you're going to find reruns.
Yeah. It's like The Office or Simpsons on FX is usually what I'm watching.
Yeah, but what do you think about the spinoff Parks and Rec? Do you like it?
Oh yeah, Parks and Rec is one of my favorites too.
The first season was a little tough, but after the first season, it becomes good to me at least.
Well, the first season was they were very much trying to replicate The Office, and then season 2 was when they were like, you know what, let's just do our own thing. Because Leslie is very Michael Scott in the first season, then they let her.
Oh yeah.
You know, but which again, it's hard to do. You know, it's like in the first season of The Office, Michael Scott is very much
like tough for me to watch
in the BBC.
In the BBC version, yeah,
which is good too. The BBC version is also
what's his name? Ricky Gervais is in that.
Yeah, David Brent.
Yeah, I should go back.
Mark Freeman's in that too. He plays Tim.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I should go back and watch reruns of The Office and Parks and Rec. That's what I should do.
You should.
I should. You know what? But it's funny though. Everyone tells me to watch all these shows, and I have like, dude, where do I find the time?
It's true though.
I know, but here's the funny thing though.
At the time.
At the time, yeah. I believe there's a hero in all of us. Gives us strength, keeps us. Did she just like have that planted?
That's what I'm saying.
Gives us strength, makes us noble, and finally, it allows us to, die with pride. Even though sometimes we have to be steady and, give up the thing that we want the most. Even our dreams. Some people would argue that's one of the better speeches in a comic book movie.
Hey, Ryan, you give me a timestamp again, man. My bad.
Dude, what are you doing to me? Anyway.
It's the notifications that keep dropping down.
We're 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 5 seconds into the movie right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I don't think it's a bad speech, but I think it is one of those like
too nail on the head.
It's a little too nail on the head when you don't say in the next movie that she knows that he's Spider-Man. If you say, oh, she knew he was Spider-Man, then it's a little different. But here it's just like it's a bit weird of a speech to made for your pizza delivery boy, freelance photographer nephew.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But there are some good speeches.
So with this scene, he has to have some of his powers back, or else he should probably be dead. Like I'm just saying, he has to have some of his strength back because there's no way normal Peter Parker survives this. Like, you see how high up that is?
Well, now that you look at the ground, like the long shot there, Matt, yeah, you got a point.
He has to have some of his strength back, or else he's dead. Like, he is dead.
I hate to say this, but yeah, he is totally dead. Oh my gosh! Like, dude, he hits that, breaks his back. Like, this is literally, this is like life-ending stuff.
I know you guys were saying you forget Spider-Man 3, but let's not forget Harry Osborn with the Green Goblin serum got smacked in the head and got short-term memory loss. So
yeah, it's true.
Peter's got to have some of his strength back, or else blood should be just filling his head right now.
Well, here's okay. Well, there is that. I'm not gonna lie. Just out of curiosity, though, what's everyone's favorite Spider-Man comic book storyline or graphic novel? Anyone got a favorite?
Give me a second to.
I know what my favorite is. If you want.
Oh no, mine is it's only 2 issues long, but it's the Death of Gwen Stacy.
Ooh,
I love that 2 issue.
That's an iconic moment too.
Was on the hunt for Green Goblin afterwards. I think and what's sad is in those comics she doesn't know that Peter's Spider-Man,
and she dies anyway.
She she dies anyway, just because she goes to the apartment because Peter's been struggling, and she just goes to see her boyfriend, and
that's rough.
Unfortunately, Goblin learns.
Do you have those 2 issues?
I do not have them as issues, but I bought a while ago. It was a compilation. It's called The Death of the Stacys. So it has the comics that show the death of Captain Stacy and then the death of Gwen Stacy.
Sure. Oh, that's cool. I didn't. Wow, that's a cool graphic novel. That'd be fun. Let me see, Dion. Do you have a favorite comic book storyline?
No, I'd probably still go the Gwen Stacy one, just from the. I mean, that's.
I've always been a Gwen Stacy over Mary Jane person myself.
Oh, really?
Really? I'm more of a Mary Jane fan than Gwen Stacy.
The Amazing Spider-Man movies, how Emma Stone portrayed Gwen Stacy in particular.
Don't you mean the Emma Stone? She's one of the best actresses in Hollywood's history.
100% she is.
Guaranteed. What is she, only like 30 years old now? 32, 34?
Been one of my celebrity crushes since I first saw The Amazing Spider-Man back when I was 14 years old. Back
but that was
2012.
Was that her natural hair color in those, or those were wigs?
I genuinely don't know.
Does anyone know if those were?
Didn't really care. Didn't bother 14-year-old Matt.
I'm just wondering if that was her real hair. They put her in a wig.
Coming up, Doc Ock is supposed to find Peter Parker to find out where Spider-Man is. He does not know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So why does he think lodging a car through a coffee store is gonna help him?
I think
he's dead.
Well, my favorite Spider-Man related comic book storyline is Kraven's Last Hunt. Anyone ever read that? Did you ever read that?
He's a good one. I have not read it, but Kraven is
dude. Read Kraven's Last Hunt. It's so good. What about you, Dion? You've read Kraven's Last Hunt?
I have not.
Well, you might want to look that one up, man. It's pretty good.
What was so good about now here in Atlanta, or the county I'm in,
Atlanta, yeah,
it's super hot, dude.
It's super hot, man.
Oh God, it's just terrible. But I can use our library has Hoopla, and I just jump on there, put in almost any comic book, and it's there already. I just download it from right there and take. Oh,
dude, that's
so
real.
So it's like e-books for comics.
It's ebooks,
yeah.
Oh,
it really is.
Really
that's
cool.
literally what libraries use is Hoopla. So
yeah,
so
I usually when I run and read some comics, usually you can find a graphic novel they're in, and how where I live on Long Island, the library system really cool. To where it's like if your library doesn't have it, they can ship it even if it's from 3 towns over. They'll ship it for free, and you just return to your library. It's really nice for movies and stuff like that you're not just stuck to your library. It's really nice.
It's super easy too, man. I just click forward and it goes from panel to panel.
Use your library, kids. Don't
use the library.
Use your libraries, man.
I was going to say, visit your local library.
If you're a movie fan, if you're a comic book fan, your library
or you're a book fan,
has access to a lot of stuff. So
all the stuff is on demand now too. So
this moment, if he's not Spider-Man, he's dead, Octavius, and you won't have your answer.
What do we think about? What do we think about this slow motion scene?
I love
it. Cool. It's awesome.
Dude, she's
it
about
makes no sense.
She's literally about the
Matt's talking logic. I'm not here for logic.
Oh,
I'm here
for saying, we're all fans. We can nitpick, but I'm not gonna lie. That shot is one of my favorite shots in this movie.
I already believe the man can scale walls.
Teaser. If I'm not mistaken, I think the teaser trailer starts with that with
the conversation,
and that's how it starts. Which is definitely a cool way to do your Spider-Man teaser.
Oh, look at this.
I'll peel the flesh off her bones.
Peter Parker and the girlfriend.
Actually, I'm engaged to someone else.
I want you to find your friends, Spider-Man. Tell him to meet me at West Side Tower at 3 o'clock. I don't know where he is. Find him. Or I'll peel the flesh off her bones. Dude, that is such a dark threat. And I'm thinking, dude, as soon as he said that, if I could have gotten freed of those tentacles, I would have punched him right in the jaw for saying that.
It's messed up to be like,
I love the Hulk sort of way that Peter busts out of the
when he tears himself out of the rubble there.
I love it.
It's awesome.
By the way, one of the things that Dennis Zen from the Schmodown Collider days, Matt, he said, here's the thing I don't like about these movies starring Tobey Maguire. Kirsten Dunst is always screaming in every movie that she's in. In the first one, she's screaming. In the second one, she's screaming. I'm like, well, what do you expect her to do when she's being grabbed by
I have issues with Mary Jane as a character, but the screaming, it's like Willie in Temple of Doom. What did you expect?
Like, what did you expect her to do?
It's a scary, like, Dennis, if Doc Ock just said, I'm going to rip the flesh from your bones and then pick you up, what?
How would you feel?
You would not be screaming? Because I would. I know I would be screaming.
Hey, his glasses aren't working anymore. Did you notice that?
He's back.
Oh, he's making that fist. Yeah. Dion, he's making that iron fist.
It's like the Arthur meme.
It's the Arthur fist.
He's making the fist. Dion, he's making the fist.
Spider-Man was a hero.
Still no whereabouts on your son's fiance. Sorry.
The thing is, I like that actor too. I can't. I don't know his name.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
I think he passed away before Spider-Man 3.
Oh, really?
Oh, did he? Is it really?
I believe I will look that up right now because
Spider-Man was a hero. See, he's got it nailed to his wall.
But he completely goes a 180 after it.
Yeah, immediately when he's
a thief.
He's a menace.
Courtesy of your friendly neighborhood spider. He stole my suit. He's a menace to the entire city. I want that wall-crawling arachnid prosecuted. I want him strung up by his webs. I want Spider-Man. So comic booky. And then it says, he's back.
I am mistaken. Back. He is in Spider-Man 3. He passed away in 2016. I knew he had passed away.
Okay.
I just thought for a moment. It's been a while since I watched Spider-Man 3. I thought.
Wait a minute. I thought we established.
Wait, there's a Spider-Man 3?
There is no Spider-Man 3.
You guys have to remind me of a lot.
Back in the day.
That's a cool shot.
This is for me.
We're going into what is known as the train sequence here, buddy.
So to you guys, Tom Holland is the first Spider-Man to get a trilogy.
Clock Tower.
There's only been 2 duologies before that.
Oh, she'll just be fine. Let's talk.
Let's talk. This is where my mind was blown in the theater, man.
This is where Dion's itty-bitty little high school mind was blown out of proportion. Because this scene and the train sequence are like, wait a minute, this is a comic book come to life? I didn't know that was humanly possible.
It's pretty cool.
By the way, they're in the extended cut. These fight scenes go on for a lot longer.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the?
I think the pacing gets thrown off a little. Here, it's well done.
What do we think of the? Has anyone seen the director's cut of this movie?
Yeah, I've seen it a few times. FX always.
I like it.
That's usually when they play Spider-Man 2. It's always 2.1.
Oh, which by the way,
they don't market it as that.
Yeah.
They don't. But it's longer, so more commercial.
So do you remember on FX they used to do the TV series DVD on TV?
No.
I thought that was funny. Where they play the movie, they have these 2 hosts, and they walk you through the special features like you're in the DVD or something like that. It was a lot of fun.
I remember AMC Story Notes when they used to do that. That was fun. Where you could watch the movie and they would have trivia.
Look at the promos. Look at the promos and some clips from DVD on TV. For those of you tuning in, we're in the epic train sequence that is currently at 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 40 seconds into the movie known as Spider-Man 2, the theatrical cut.
Man. This is
don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know. And if you're watching us live on the replay, we thank you for being with us. Watch the movie along with us and comment below in the chat. By the way, Dave Manley says the train fight is possibly the best superhero fight ever.
Dave, I'm on board.
No pun intended. I'm on board. I'm on board a train, Dion. I'm on board a train.
That's tough because you got Superman versus Zod and Company, and Superman 2 is really good. Batman versus Joker
the short fight sequence in the Fortress of Solitude where he kills everyone at the end, I think is funny. I think that's good.
Batman versus Joker in '89 is really good.
Oh, that's a great fight scene.
Oh, this is perfect. I love this part.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
it's a comic
that'd be a fun show to do. Top superhero fight scenes of all time.
That would be a really fun list. Because there are I'll even say Spider-Man the Lizard fighting in the school and Amazing Spider-Man is awesome.
Are you pitching me an idea for a show?
A collab show?
I think he is.
I mean, if we want to cross the All-Star Fandom and I Quote channel and Matt Kearns' Take 3 production streams, yeah, we can.
I think that would be a fun one because I think Affleck is still super high on my list.
Oh, The Warehouse.
The Warehouse.
That might be number 2 for me.
I'll kill her. Yeah, I know you will.
I know you will.
It's awesome.
That's you know what? I need to go back and watch The Warehouse.
And when he's getting shot in the head, he just turns around, like looking at the guy, like, "Oh, you really think that's gonna help you?"
I need to go back and watch The Warehouse scene because it's been years since I've seen it.
He just tossed him.
Oh, wait a minute. Hey, you gotta go. I gotta go, but you have a train to catch.
You know, coming up, talk about superhero stuff. Phil Lamar makes a cameo here, the voice of Green Lantern in Justice League, Static Shock. He's also Kit Fisto in the Clone Wars show,
which
one of my favorites. Phil Lamar, a reason why my Green Lantern will forever be John
he's
Stewart
in this movie?
and not
Hal he's Jordan. In the train,
he's
right there.
He's right there.
Oh, there he is.
The black winter
coat. Oh, I did not know that.
Which he was doing Justice League, I think, at this point. Justice League
it was because
would have been going on at this point.
So,
or I think they might have done switch over to Unlimited.
I really didn't like the conductor or the train operator.
Not any more bright ideas.
Yeah, I was like, I'm trying to save your life, brother.
You know what? Let me use your body to try and stop it. How's that?
Why don't you get your body to stop the train? By the way,
bright ideas, like
you know,
a few.
You know what?
Dave Manley says, "Any more bright ideas?" I got a
New York moment. Spider-Man's trying to save your life, and you're just gonna be snippy at him. You know, such a New York moment.
Yeah, but it's too bad that the MCU ripped this scene off of Spider-Man 2 with Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
Well, usually he's always holding something on something like that, like on some sort of media. Is him pulling.
Basically, the actor who spent months working out needs to show off the biceps at some point.
But this is why I love Spider-Man so much. I think it captured it in this train sequence. This is the most superhero thing that you can ever do. Like risk it.
You can only get this in a comic book movie.
Him looking at it and the suit's ripping.
So my question is for you guys, because we're coming up to it. Which scene of
look at this?
Which scene of New Yorker supporting Spider-Man do you prefer? This scene or the bridge scene from the first?
Give me this one all day. Give me this one. Because he doesn't have his mask on. They know who he is. They know at least what he looks like.
By the way,
just something about I have to be honest. When I saw the re-release of Spider-Man recently, I got kind of chills during that. You know, you must be Spider, you must be New York. You know, I was like, oh,
yeah. Dave Manley says, "Good call out on Phil Lamar making a cameo appearance. I never realized that was him. I didn't know that either."
That's why Ryan brings me on for these random things.
That's a superhero moment right there.
Yeah.
By the way, it's funny though because our Dennis Zen also said that train sequence is great, but I guarantee you that there was a kid on that train who took pictures of the person who's really.
Oh, it was 2004.
Hit him under
Come on, I didn't remember flip phones. You know. Fuzzy that picture would be trying to show it to his friends, like, this is who Spider-Man is. And like,
yeah, and the culture wasn't
white guy.
Yeah.
Okay,
wasn't that at the time either. Like everybody would have their phone out the whole time about to die, right? So, but no, this was such a superhero moment, man.
Older than my son.
Is he alive? Just a kid.
God, so good.
Older than my son.
No older than my son.
And the two little boys who give Spider-Man back his mask are Tobey Maguire's stepbrothers.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, so many cameos. I didn't know Phil Lamar was in this. That's just insane.
Yeah.
That guy was at the peak of his career playing GL in the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. I'm like, dude, he's right there in the train.
You know what's so wild too? I grew up like Hal Jordan was in my time, obviously.
Yeah.
But once Justice League came out, I was like, wait a minute, John Stewart. I completely
my whole life.
Hal Jordan is my Spider-Man 3 at the moment.
I didn't know who Hal Jordan was. I did not know who Hal Jordan was, and then to learn that oh, he's usually I'm like, no, Green Lantern's a black guy.
We won't count anybody.
He's not white. I really don't think Hal Jordan really became a thing to me until the movie from 2009, and I started to. Because I've never really been
it's good to have you back,
super big Green Lantern comics reader, so I didn't know. I was just like, no, it's John Stewart, man. That's who it is.
Yeah.
Wow. What a
Ryan, later on,
still
I'll
not
send
done.
you a funny comedy bit that has to do with this scene. I'll send you it.
Okay, fair enough.
He's
mine. You want him? You're gonna have to go through me. Isn't that one of the Sopranos?
I think so. Yeah.
One of the Soprano
And-
actors.
I don't know if he
And
was
me.
on.
Looks like he was. Oh, there's Phil Lamar again.
Because I just finished it last year. Finally, I went through all the seasons for the
Was
first time.
he,
Really good series.
Is he the actor who played big word I'm not allowed to say on stream? Big kitty cat?
The big kitty cat. Yeah.
That wasn't him.
No, that was the other dude.
He's been interviewed by Joe Rogan, so I know him from somewhere.
Good transition from the spider back to the
Yeah,
man.
I'll look. I'm
Look this up and send it
Spider-Man
over to
2
us, right?
train guy.
Just look it up to the send it to the DMs of
Yeah,
Deanna
I'll
myself. I don't
I'll
know.
do it. Yeah,
Or post it in the chat. I don't
Yeah,
care.
I really think with this moment here, you could have had Harry be the guy
the
at the
main
end.
villain.
Main villain. Yeah.
Especially, wait, not just this scene. Harry's final scene in this movie.
Yeah, it felt like you could have still done it, and we would have been okay with it.
Oh,
But then it was like a lot of studio interference too, right? In the third
yeah,
one,
there was
like,
a lot
you
of
gotta
studio
get these-
interference. There were creative differences behind the scenes. There was a lot of issues.
Everybody was just shoehorned in.
Yeah,
'Cause if
there were
you
too many
told me-
at the time. There were too many cooks in the kitchen.
If you told me I'm not giving Venom ever, like in this series, I'd be all right, cool. But you teed up Venom too with the astronaut, with Jonah's son, right? But
Would it work perfectly?
yeah, but even if I didn't get him in the third one, I don't think I would have mind because this story was strong enough to carry the third one.
By the way, this is funny to me, if I remember correctly. Dave Mattingly says, I love the meme that Doc Ock looks like he's cosplaying every single Matrix character at once, including the
I've seen
Squiddies.
that. So the guy who did the
What a
whole
moment,
you want to
man.
get the same guy go for me, that was Joey Diaz is the actor.
Oh my goodness.
Tears off the mask. Peter, it can't be. Another truth has been revealed. Harry, where is she? Where is he keeping her? He's got MJ. No, only one was the tritium. Tritium. No.
How good does that suit
He's
look, though, man? Like
he's
just-
making the machine again. When that happens, she'll die along with half of New York. Now, where is he? Peter. You killed my father. That's a Star Wars line right there. There are bigger things that are happening here than me and you. This is serious, man. Harry, please. I've got to stop.
Man.
Yeah, Dave, we talked about that earlier. The power of the sun in the palm of my hand. That's right. We talked about that earlier, Dave. Oh, there's Mary Jane. She's tied up. Hey, I'm talking to you. You got
And it
what you
was
needed.
very, very important that it was only running water on that one pillar. Once again, the most vital thing in the movie.
Dave Manley says this is heavy.
This is heavy, Doc.
Which, funny enough, Dave Mattingly just brought up that line. Both the original and part 3 turned 35 and 40 respectively. We're going to be doing watch-alongs for both Back to the Future and Back to the Future Part 3 next year. So
Nice. Part
stay
3 is
tuned.
my favorite of the sequels.
Which one?
Part 3.
Yeah, it is. It's better than 2. It's way better.
Wait, in what?
Back to the Future Part 3 is better than Part 2 of the sequels, not counting the whole thing. But of the sequels, Part 3 in the Wild West is way better than Part 2.
Oh man.
I agree.
That might
Is that a hot why? Dion, is that a hot
Not a
take?
hot take. It's just I have a different opinion. I think that's my least
Did I-
favorite one.
Did I hurt your feelings? Is that it?
I
little
don't really
bit.
have a least favorite
Yeah.
Back to the Future movie.
That's
There's
the thing.
a
I
least
love it in
best.
totality.
They're all great, man.
I love it in totality, but like the third one, I haven't watched the third one as much as the first two.
Okay,
I'll say that much.
All right.
So if you have the which I'm not, again, I only have the DVD, but the DVD, there's a cool feature of
I have
at
both.
least that part of the fight scene to where they actually, you can change the angle of them shooting it, so you can see it from multiple different cameras. It's really cool.
Excuse me. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Dave Manley says Back to the Future Part 2 is my favorite, actually, with Back to the Future Part 3 being a close.
Maybe
Now,
I should watch. Maybe I should
do you
rewatch
mean-
the third
Do you
one.
mean it's your favorite of the whole trilogy? Like, are you saying you go?
Is that your favorite of the whole
1,
series, Dave, or are you just talking about the sequels?
Yeah, because me and Ryan rank it 1, 3, 2.
Yeah, 1, 3, and 2 for me, man. Yeah, for Matt and I. Matt and I are on the
Yeah.
same wavelength.
We're on
here.
the same wavelength. That's why we're friends.
Which I don't know how does Dave Manley feel about this? Now you got me curious. If you really say that part 2 is the best of all three, I don't know what
fine.
I mean, it's fine, but you're wrong. But it's all right. You can have an opinion.
Usually my favorite trilogy, so it's one of those things to where like, anyone who said I've only the three is their favorite is like crazy.
Whoa, he pushes his tentacle into the electrical cords.
Great Scott! Shocking. Positively shocking.
Yes, I remember that from the Connery films.
And we've got to like enjoy like the fact that every battle his suit gets like this.
It gets torn to shreds.
I love it.
I will say one of my issues in the Tobey Maguire series, starting with this second one, is takes his mask off too much. I like more what they did in the first movie, to where the goblin, the pumpkin bomb, blows up, and he still kind of has half the mask on. I think that looks cooler than what.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite of the battle-worn costume.
You're one of the few people who's willing to admit this. Back to the Future 1 was good, but not as good as the sequels. So he has it ranked as 2, 3, and 1 for Dave Manley, according to the chat. Dave, you can have that list. I mean, 2's good, but man, I don't know how anyone can have 2 as the better of the 3. That's just all right. But whatever. To each their own, my friend. To each their own.
I actually go in order of the movies.
Brilliant, but lazy. What's happening? We must destroy this machine. Look at all the things that are being melted into that machine, man. I can't destroy it.
Yeah, Peter, we're kind of screwed.
I won't.
Yeah, Peter, we're in trouble.
You once spoke to me about intelligence. That it was a gift to be used for the good of mankind. A privilege. These things have turned you into something that you are not. Brilliant but lazy. Story of my life, pal, says Dave Mattingly. Hey, thanks for being open and honest here, Dave. It was my dream. Sometimes to do what's right, we have to be steady. And give up the thing that we want the most. Man, see, now he's trying to relate to the villain. You're right. See, the tentacles have turned him into something that he is not. He became Doc Ock because of the tentacles, not because he wanted to be.
You have become the very thing you swore to destroy.
But like it's these relationships that Peter has with his villains, man. Like Pete might have, he might have the best rogues gallery in comics.
Some people have made the argument that Spider-Man has a better rogues gallery than Batman does.
I don't know. Dick Tracy's also up there. What?
I mean, are you being serious?
Yeah,
hey, do you think I'm going to pay you for being on the show for what? Standing there?
Dick Tracy is one of... comic books are more of just movies, Ryan. Dick Tracy in particular has a very long history.
Fun fact, Dick Tracy turns 35 next year. We'll be doing a watch along for that, Matt.
I got to be there. That's
you got to be there because you love that movie.
Dick Tracy is one of my top 5 favorite comic book movies.
Jeez, it's in top 5?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Stop the presses. We got to hear this. What are your top 5? Let's go. Let's roll.
My top 5 are Superman 2, Dick Tracy, The Amazing Spider-Man, Batman 89, and Superman the movie.
Wow. That is one heck of a list. Dion, what do you think of that list?
I mean, I heard it, but I had one eye here and one eye there and one ear there and one ear there.
He's looking at Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst lovingly staring at each other.
Well, she knows now.
She knows now. No. See, isn't that the building about to collapse on top of her, by the way?
This is kind of heavy.
Oh, he's got the tower with his spider strength. Hi.
This is kind of heavy.
Hi. This is really heavy. This is really heavy, man.
I will not die, monster.
Whenever any tech doesn't cooperate, I talk to it like Doc Ock. You must listen to me now. Dude.
I didn't do that before, but I'm going to do that now.
That's
going to be a go-to line for me now.
Yeah, Dion's gonna be using that line starting tomorrow when he walks back into work. In case we die, you do love me.
No, not actually.
See, now he's admitting it. He's admitting it, even though you said you didn't.
Yeah,
But
man.
understandably, she knows
psych.
why.
I will not die as a monster.
And at some
Oh, look at this
point,
CGI, man.
yeah, it's yeah. I was gonna say at one point we're gonna see a completely CGI Alfred Molina
Mm-hmm.
coming up here.
Oh, look at this thing about to roll over. Hold on a second.
What even is that? Like,
It's part of a tower, man. It's part of the metal tower thing. Spider-Man Mary Jane just web slinging away. Oh,
yep, there's the CGI Alfred Molina.
There's Doc Ock with the machine.
That's pretty good for 04.
Yeah, I was gonna say for 04, like now we're like that's CGI, but it was
because it's far better than the CGI. When was Enter the Matrix or the Matrix 2? Which one?
Oh, you mean the Matrix Reloaded?
Reloaded, yeah. Enter the Matrix.
I think Matrix 2 and 3 were both 2003.
Yeah, they came out the same year, didn't they?
Yeah.
So that second Matrix movie.
What with Keanu and Mr. Smith?
It looked like a video game.
Yeah.
I think I always knew. Oh, MJ always knew, huh?
Well, she tried kissing her fiance upside down, so
who you really were.
Well, this is the thing is at the end of the first movie, when he kisses her, they do make it seem like she recognizes the kiss. So did she know?
I can't let you take that risk, Mary Jane.
Why should Mary Jane be like, you do realize I've been captured multiple times before, so how different do you think it's going to be? Just saying.
By the way, Dave Manley says, sure, lifting a building is a whole lot easier than using a web to pull MJ closer.
You know, I'll be the lone guy here. I kind of feel bad for John Jameson in this movie. Like, seems like a pretty decent guy. Went to play 6 times all this and just takes friggin' Peter Parker to just be like, bye. Like, that's why the dude should have been Venom.
Dave Manley says, until this, my favorite Alfred Molina movie was The Man Who Knew Too Little, where he was a Russian assassin hired to kill Bill Murray.
Look at this.
Wow, dude, that is a throwback.
John even shows up for her.
Wait a minute, does John show up for her?
Yeah.
Yeah, just saying, you know, there he is.
Oh, there he is. There he is. I see him now. Sorry.
He is.
For those of you just tuning in, this is the 20th anniversary celebration watch along of Spider-Man 2. We are 1 hour, 54 minutes.
Oh, look at that,
49
too.
seconds.
She's got some bad news for him.
Yeah, in the movie. If you want to queue up your copy on physical media or streaming service, watch the movie along with us. Comment below in the chat. If you're watching us live or on a replay, we thank you for being with us. And do not forget to like and share this with everyone that you know. She knows what she wants.
And it's not an astronaut.
And it's the it's not an astronaut. It's not an astronaut. You know, the day that you are a shrimp boat captain, I will come and be your first mate. If you're ever a shrimp boat captain, that's the day I'm an astronaut.
And then the following year, he was an astronaut.
Are you referring
Apollo
to
13?
Gary Sinise?
Yeah, Gary Sinise.
Or are you referring to the other? No, you are referring to Gary Sinise.
No, Gary Sinise, yeah, because he
never mind. You're right, and I did see Apollo 13 not too long ago. It's a good movie.
This is such a great scene.
Good cameo too.
Yeah, it really is.
Dave Manley says Marvel's all-time best casting in the history of mankind is J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. I would agree with that. Or Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. That was good casting too. Yeah. Does anyone else disagree?
I mean, Defoe as Goblin. We're about to see him here. That's really good
casting. Does Downey and Chris Evans get any love?
Yeah, I was going to say Downey and Chris. But there's a lot of good castings.
Yeah, I don't. They haven't had many misses. I will give them that much.
This is
avenge me, says Dave Manley.
This is really cool. So a lot of people talk about, they're like, oh, what is this? How is Harry, seeing it? And a lot of people said, well, clearly, as we're going to see, Norman had he had a lab. So he probably was, continually reusing the goblin mist, and it probably got in the air of the house. So probably Harry's been, and now it's just kind of coming out because he's sort of been mentally broken.
Be strong, Harry. Avenge me.
Avenge me.
I can't do it. Avenge me. No. Then he finds the goblin's lair.
Yep. And he also finds a hobgoblin mask that he does not use. in the next movie.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Hobgoblin. In
I would have liked to have
never showed up
seen
either.
what they tease here a lot more than what they went with in the next one.
Where is the Hobgoblin mask?
I'll point it out. So there's a
Green
goblin mask.
Oh, they're the explosive
there's
devices.
The goblin bombs.
There's more of them. There's the serum. That's the serum, guys.
But okay, what questions would you be asking yourself right now? My dad was a villain, right? Like,
no, like he was
a
at the
villain?
World Unity Day Festival when he saw Goblin kill all those people.
Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
well, I guess it's in Spider-Man 3, but they show a goblin mask that is more silver and kind of, and it looks more hobgoblin-ish. It's like, man, it would have been nice to,
look, we're at the church.
So Mary Jane, goes through all this. Both of my sisters got married in the last couple of years.
Oh, congrats.
There's a rehearsal. There's all this. At no point before literally right here, she could have decided she didn't want to marry this dude. Like, come
you're
on,
not getting
man.
those deposits back either way.
Dave Manley says now I can finally get my
But
rent
at
for Peter
least the
stealing
poor
MJ.
guy wouldn't have to be standing at the altar to find this out. Like, at least she could have taken him aside before the rehearsal and just been like, "Look, John, this isn't gonna happen."
Yeah.
Like.
And if he would have become like, even if, oh man, now I'm thinking about him becoming a villain. This could have been his villain origin story. Yeah.
John Jameson easily could have been Venom. Easily.
Yeah, easily. And we would have been like, okay, we get it.
No,
and he finds out
your
who
hatred
Peter
for
is.
Peter is there. Like, you understand it.
Oh,
And
here
guys,
comes one of the bridesmaids, I would say.
We should write a retcon, a new Spider-Man.
Yeah, where
3.
he goes to
Vanessa
space
Perlito.
and he
That's
finds
Vanessa.
the Venom symbiote.
Yeah, and we'll still have Harry as Hobgoblin. It'll be a tag team effort here.
Yeah, because they both hate Peter. And not only that, Peter took MJ from both of them.
There you go.
Tell her not to open the caviar.
So technically, it's all MJ's fault in the third movie.
Dave Manley says call the caterer. Dude, she's walking across or running across New York
Park
in a wedding dress.
It's probably not the weirdest thing they've ever seen. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, like she's got
stuff.
guts for wearing that outfit and running across New York City to get to Peter.
Yeah, those high heels, man, her feet gotta be killing her.
See, this is
but
one
now
of my favorite
only Mr. Dickovich could have popped in and be like,
Rent?
one of you give me rent?
By the way, this is one of the best moments for me in this entire movie, and it brings back 94 vibes so much.
Oh yeah.
If you know where I'm going with this, Dion, if you know what I'm going, I had to do what I had to do. Mary Jane, you can't do this. Peter, I can't survive without you. Oh, that's being honest, isn't it? Technically. That is remarkably close to MJ's wedding dress in the comics. Really? Wow.
You guys want to see something really weird and funny? Look up the video of Stan Lee marrying Peter Parker and Mary Jane at Shea Stadium back in the 80s or 70s. It is.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's weird, but it's really funny.
I know there will be risks, but I want to face them with you. It's wrong that we should only be half alive, half of ourselves, you know.
Man, but like things and okay, there's no third one.
Right, yeah. There never was.
That's why we got to write a third one. Poor Sam Raimi just never got the opportunity.
I've always
like her career falls off. And she's working in like a diner, right?
In the first one.
Wait, where's she working in the third one? I thought
no, in the third one, she is an actress, but she gets let go from the play, and then she's working in the jazz.
See, I told you, man, I don't remember nothing.
In the first movie, she's working in the diner.
Someone saved your life. Well, say something. What's Peter gonna say? Thank you, Mary Jane Watson. Oh, then there's that.
You give me rent. One of you give me rent.
There's the heroic kiss at the end, fellas. That's what we've been waiting for because those two belong together. You hear sirens wailing?
There it is.
There it is. Comic book line right there. Go get him, Tiger. That's it.
It's like, why are you calling me Tiger? You've never done that before.
But that's the thing. Like the thing about Spider-Man,
I know it's
the thing. Oh wait a minute.
Here it is. Here it is. Dude, swinging through the city just like the first one.
Yep.
Oh, look how glossy that suit is. Good Lord.
Let it breathe, man. This is so good.
Look at this.
Dun, dun, dun.
Wow.
And I do like how the shot they choose to end on does kind of hint to Mary Jane will have a hard time with this in the next movie, because I really do like how, they could have, but they have her be like, we just got together and he had to leave.
But the thing is like,
it's how it's going to be.
It's Spider-Man though. Like it ended on a great note for him, but it's never going to be for him, right? He can't have his cake and eat it too. Never.
What was I about to say? Sorry. By the way, Dave Manley says, if anyone on the train ever revealed Peter's identity, he would need a really good lawyer. Well, that's where Matt Murdock would have come in.
True.
I mean, if you crossed over the Daredevil and Spider-Man cinematic universes, that would have been fun.
Well, also, knowing Peter Parker's money situation, Matt Murdock probably would be his lawyer anyway.
Well, he probably would be.
Because if you remember the Ben Affleck movie, he really wants to take on honest clients. Peter Parker is probably an honest client.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I really like this end credit song. It's not better than Hero, but it's good.
It's good stuff. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end credit sequence of what is known as Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. So, Matt, final thoughts on this movie? Scale 1 to 10. What are you going to give Spider-Man 2?
Scaling. I think this is a very solid movie. I think the action is done very well. There are character choices and things that I'm not the biggest fan of. I think overall, I think the first movie is a little bit better. So I'm going to give this one a very solid 8 out of 10.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What about you, Dion? You've been a proponent of this film since the get-go. So I'm just curious. Final thoughts, scale 1 to 10. What are you going to give Spider-Man 2? And the next question I have for you is, if you're willing to share, top 5 comic book movies. Go.
Oh, good. Okay. So this movie, you don't break my top 5 unless it's a 10, right? So I'm giving it. It's a 5. It's got to be, right? Brought me back to everything that I loved about Spider-Man, man. Like the person Peter Parker and the hero. So 10 for me. Top 5. This Batman '89. What did I say? The very first Avengers movie for me, because I was like, they got it right, or they did it. Winter Soldier is one of mine, and I think I always slip Blade in there just because I can't get enough of. I can watch that movie all the time, so that might be my 5. I think that's it. Yeah.
Looks like you're mascara.
Now your turn, Ryan. You gotta give us your top 5.
Well, some guys are always just trying to skate uphill. Anyway, so for me, dude, Blade 1 is such a fun movie. Go back and watch that. It's good stuff. Anyway, here's the deal. So final thoughts on Spider-Man 2. I think this is a really good movie. They add new depths to the characters. They add new layers to it. There are definitely some lines and moments that I consider to be cheesy. Some things may or may not have aged well in 20 years. But you know what, man? You feel for this kid. You feel bad for him the entire movie. You're with him the entire 2 hours plus, by the way. Alfred Molina, I only knew him from little things here and there, but this is where I was really, truly introduced to Alfred Molina as an actor, and he does a tremendously awesome job as Doc Ock, Dr. Otto Octavius, however you want to go about it. So I like this movie a lot. It's one of the better comic movies in the world. For me, I'm going to give this movie a solid 8 out of 10. I still like the first Spider-Man over the second Spider-Man, just because the first one just broke so much ground back then.
Yeah.
And also they're not as as many cheesy moments or lines that would kind of be like, that's a little OTT, Raimi. You're going a little too hard on this. Because in the first one, the first film is very experimental. They're playing around with stuff. They're trying to figure out what works in these movies, what doesn't. And that's why they did it so well in Spider-Man 2. They turned everything up to 11.
Well, I like the hero-villain dynamic in the first
one.
No,
it's good. It's really good.
Kind of see Peter Parker's origin, then Norman Osborn, like how they play around.
Yeah, for me, I think I prefer Spider-Man to Spider-Man 2, but that's all right. But anyway, Spider-Man 2 gets an 8 out of 10 for me. Solid film, solid story, great actors, great characters. And by the way, when she drops that line on him at the end, "Go get him, Tiger," I'm like, oh my God, the 94 series has made an appearance in this movie. I'm so happy right now because she says it so many times in the animated series. It's ridiculous how many times she looks at Parker and says, "Go get him, Tiger. I'll see you later, Tiger," or whatever. It's just, all the MJ lines are coming out just like, wah, you know, so it's good stuff. So here's my top 5. And by the way, Dave Manley, you've added something to this too. I'm going to bring that up here in a minute. So for me, my top 5 are the following: Man of Steel, Superman's my number 1. He's never going to die. X-Men: Days of Future Past, best X-Men movie of all time. Period. End of story. 3 would be, 3 would be, let's see, this is hard now. Captain America: Winter Soldier. 4 would be The Avengers because it's the best team-up movie in the beginning of, before we got team-up movies, that's a team-up movie that's really good.
They got it right.
And they got it freaking right, brother. And then 5 would be, Batman 89. Because it's so pivotal. It's so pivotal, and it's so rewatchable. It's endlessly rewatchable. Dave Manley goes on to say a few things here. He says Spider-Man 2 is at least a 10 out of 10.
I like Dave, man.
I know. I think you know, it's funny how you say that because you and Dave, we're simpatico here, you know. Dave says that Spider-Man 2 is a 10 out of 10. He says my top 5 are the following: Spider-Man 2, Superman 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Part 1, the first one, Big Hero 6, and Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings.
I like Big Hero 6. Guardians, I may have like,
I'm more Volume 2 person.
Here's my problem.
I think too, maybe.
I've never seen Shang-Chi, and I haven't seen Big Hero 6.
Me too. I haven't seen either one of those.
I haven't seen them.
Okay, I'll give him Guardians 1. Guardians 3 was really good, though. I'll say Guardians 1 too. That was good.
Guardians 1.
Not mad at the list.
That's not a bad list, by the way, Dave Manley.
Nobody's list is bad because it's theirs.
Yeah, it's true. Take my top 5 comic book movies with a grain of salt. It's just my opinion.
Take my top 20. You can find that on my Letterboxd.
Well, here's another thing the 3 of us should do one day. We should cross the streams and do favorite super comic book movie battle scenes, or we should do top 10 comic book movies of all time.
I'm down for either one.
Top 10. You want to do top 10? We can do top 10 if you want.
I'm there.
Do you want to do top 10? Can we name top 10? I mean, maybe we could do it.
I have a top 20 list myself.
You have a top 20? Well, Dion and I have to sit down and compile our top 10 because I need to go back and watch some stuff. But here's the deal. This has been a great time celebrating the 20th anniversary of what is known as Spider-Man 2. I want to thank each and every single person who is watching us live or on the replay. And if you've liked and shared this video with your closest friends, we appreciate every single one of you. Matt, if someone wants to know more about you and your top 5, your top 10, your top 20, your top 50, your top 100, whatever it is, of movies and stuff like that, where can they follow you, Matt Kearns?
You guys can follow me on Twitter because I'm not calling it the other thing, at Kearns_Matthew. You can also find me on YouTube in 2 places. The first place is Matt Movies 611. That is my dumping ground. That's where I do a lot of I do fan-made trailers. I do like video music, movie music tribute videos, and I do some video essays over there. And then the second place you can find me is on Take 3 Productions, where I host 2 shows. The first is a video essay series called Second Look, where I take a movie that I love that I think is either overhated or under talked about, and I go through and I talk about the movie. I've done episodes on Dick Tracy, Moneyball, Hunt for October. The episode that is coming out next is going to be on Jaws 3. And then I also have talking about comic book stuff. Hopefully this year or maybe early next year, I want to get an episode out on the 2003 Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. And I guess if you want to see more of my lists, you can find me on Letterboxd at Matt Movies 611 as well.
Ooh, I don't know. I think you and I are following each other, but if I'm not, I got to go on
Letterboxd
and following you. And then I got to add some stuff to my list because I haven't used Letterboxd in so freaking long, man.
I love Letterboxd, man.
It's
awesome.
It's a great site, but I haven't used it in like so long. I'm way.
Yeah, I used to not be good at logging my movies, but now I am, and I pay for the pro, so I get all the stats at the end of the year. Like, this is your most watched actor. This is your most watched genre. It's pretty cool. It's crazy, man.
Dude, that's genius. Matt Kearns, you're a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you so much.
As are you, sir.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Dion, my man, the biggest Spider-Man 2 fan this side of the East Coast. My goodness gracious, are you a diehard? Well,
hey, I love it, man.
And by the way, Die Hard's a good movie. Go watch it one day. So, Dion, if someone wants to know more about you and your lists and your taste in movies or fandoms for that matter, where can they follow you on social media?
Yeah, we're an All-Star Fandom show on TikTok and Instagram. Also over on YouTube at All-Star Fandom. It's a show where we just celebrate fandom. So I'll have people on who do fan-made films, cosplay, whatever under the sun. If you're a fan of it, we discuss it there. We keep the toxicity at a low and just celebrate the highs of those fandoms. It might come up a few things that hit that low point. We'll gloss over them really quickly, move on to the next thing. But new show just came out last week where we discussed Blade and that development cycle that they've been through. So go check that out over on YouTube. And this week we have another live show on Wednesday night at 7. And All Star Fandom Prime is our prime time sort of weekly show. And then the rest throughout the time on All Star Fandom, I'll just have guests on who are working on really cool projects. So Ryan, again, thanks for having me, man. I'm like a series regular. I appreciate it.
I know, right?
I enjoy these a lot, man, but I really, really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you and Matt Kearns for being with us. Do greatly appreciate it. My name is Ryan of And I Quote Channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RyanRPM5. Follow us across all forms of what is known as social media, simply at And I Quote Channel. And I Quote, the main flagship show, is on Saturdays, 12 p.m. EST. Movie watch-alongs are going to be on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, or unless otherwise noted, they would be on Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, such as this one. Next one we got for you next week is going to be 35th anniversary of Timothy Dalton's License to Kill. And then the week after that, we're going to be doing 30th anniversary of Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. Forrest Gump with Tom Hanks that won all the Oscars. So a lot of great movie watch-alongs. And hey, you heard it here first. Dion wants to put a crossover show together talking about favorite superhero movie battle fight scenes or top 10 comic movies of all time. That is going to be interesting. The question is, do you want to see it? And if you have a top 5 or top 10, what exactly is in your top 10 comic movies of all time? Put it in the chat, put it in the comments, give us some ideas. And if you want to see Dion, Matt, myself, a few other people as well, join us and talk about more comic booky stuff, please let us know. We'd be more than happy to hear from you. Otherwise, I want to take this moment to say congratulations and happy 20th anniversary to the entire cast and crew of Spider-Man 2. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And remember, I'm getting notifications all over the place. Why? Remember, life is better when watching movies with friends and family. Happy 20th anniversary to Spider-Man 2. It's amazing. Take a look.
I believe there's a hero in all of us. Gives us strength, makes us noble. Even though sometimes we have to give up the thing we want the most.
Where you been? Looking for you all morning.
You're late.
Always late.
You're fired.
Look at you, Peter. Your grades have been declining. You always appear exhausted.
I know, I'm trying.
So where you been, pal? You don't return my calls.
I've been kind of busy.
Taking pictures of your friend. Spider-Man killed my father.
No matter what I do,
Do you love me or not?
no matter how hard I try,
I want Spider-Man dead.
it's the ones I love who will always be the ones who pay.
I can't keep thinking about you. I'm getting married.
I want a life of my own. I'm Spider-Man. No more.
You look different.
I let things get in the way before. There was something I thought I had to do. I don't have to.
I liked seeing you tonight, Peter.
Now on to the main event.
Octavius is going to put Oscorp on the map in a way my father never even dreamed of.
Crazy scientist turns himself into some kind of a monster. 4 mechanical arms welded right onto his body.
Who takes Spider-Man's pictures? Where is he?
It's taking me off your loyalty to Spider-Man and not to your best friend. Bring Spider-Man to me.
How do I find him?
Peter Parker.
Find Spider-Man, or I'll peel the flesh off her bones.
There are bigger things happening here than me and you.